Um, we should be going live really soon. I exited my browser, so I can't see if we're actually live or not. But everyone in the chat, sorry for the delay. My computer stopped working. But hopefully you guys are all still here. Hopefully you guys are ready for a cool discussion. We got a lot to talk about. Let me know if the music is too loud. And yeah, so if you guys are here for the first time, we do discussions every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Mostly about Nintendo stuff. If anything is coming to the Switch or... Well, we talk about other stuff in the industry as well, but it's usually focused on Nintendo. And Brandon and Will are usually here, so how about you guys say hello?
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, so Brandon's from What About Nintendo, and Will's from Lil Will the Deity. You can check out their channels. There's a link to both of them in the description below. We all do mostly Nintendo stuff, so yeah, we're going to have a huge, awesome Nintendo discussion as usual. Now, the topics for discussion this time, I hope I'm actually live, by the way. Can you guys tell?
Yeah, we are live.
Okay,
we're
cool.
Live.
Cool. So the topics for discussion today, we're going to be talking about the confirmation that of Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is a compilation of the first three Ninja Storm games. It's like a remaster for all three of them. It's already came out for PS4 and Xbox One, the remaster, I'm pretty sure. And it's coming to Switch now. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. We're also going to be talking about Luigi's Balloon World, which is the free DLC that came out for Mario Odyssey, which is surprisingly, it's added a lot of gameplay to the game, but we'll get into that. And then we're going to talk about Pokemon Day, which is tomorrow. It's the anniversary for what I believe to be the very first Pokemon games to ever release. And there's going to be a lot of Pokemon news tomorrow, and perhaps the game announcement. We'll get into that. And Smash Bros. Switch apparently is coming out in 2018, at least according to Emily Rogers. So we're going to get into all of that during this discussion and more. So yeah, how's everyone doing? Oh man, that's terrible. Oh, I'm sad. I'm sorry, you guys.
Oh gosh,
This guy.
I am doing pretty good actually. Sorry, I was typing something in the comments there. Just got done with a great live stream. Got a video done today too. Now I'm on the podcast and just had a good weekend hanging out with some friends playing some video games. So I'm doing good.
Yeah, I saw your Xbox fanboy gonna start a YouTube channel video.
Yeah.
It was an interesting video. I'll say that much. You guys should check it out. Brandon likes doing a few different skits. They'll send you for a trip. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are very cringeworthy on purpose. So.
Yeah, those are great. Those are really good.
And Will, I didn't watch. I think your most recent video was about Black Panther, and you kind of put out like a review for it or your thoughts out on it. But I didn't watch it because I have not watched Black Panther yet, so I don't want to spoil myself for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
But for everyone who's seen Black Panther, you should check out his video. I'm sure I don't know if it's good, but I'm assuming it's good because it's Will. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, and since we're talking about videos, I did a video about how the Nintendo Switch may or may cannot still fail. We'll go over the sales numbers and talk about its future, and I even give a sales prediction. So you may want to check that video out later on. But let's actually get started with the discussion here. Yeah. Shout outs to what were you gonna say, Will?
I said, yeah, that was great. I actually really enjoyed that one.
Oh, cool.
The Switch stuff. That was great.
Thanks, man. Glad you liked it.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Yeah, I didn't mean for it to be 17 minutes long, but it was initially going to be a 7-minute video, but I realized there's just so much to say. So
it worked out. I just kind of had it on in the background, listened to everything, drank some coffee. It was great.
Yeah, but I put in like Luigi's Balloon World footage in there. That's some great DLC. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I want to give a quick shout out to like everyone in the chat. I see a lot of people actually in the chat just now. I wonder if people left because like I had technical difficulties earlier, but what's up, Lewis? What's up, Son Gohan? Brandon, you're already there. Aaron, how you doing, man? Pop Slayer. Oh man, I can't. Where's my thingin'? Black Star Dude. Arushan, Sabbath64, Josh, it's your birthday, right? You said it was your birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to you. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, bro.
Yeah. Jeremy Bins, what's up, man? Hey, Zach. Hello, Banana. Hey, Krish. We got a lot of people in the chat, so hopefully everyone's doing pretty well. Let's actually get the discussion started then, right? I think we're good to go. So
Yeah.
okay. All right. Now I
you didn't
realize
ask how I was doing, but yeah.
how are you doing, Will? How are
No, it's fine.
I feel like this is a running theme.
Yeah, I mean, Andres, it's okay. I see.
I don't care how you're doing.
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Yeah. This is go
Cool.
kick off the discussion.
Cool.
Okay.
Hey Kevin, Banana, you cannot sponsor because I do not have a YouTube partnership yet. Well, I had one and they took it away, but I wasn't able to get.
Stole it from me.
Hopefully, in a month or so, I will be able to get sponsored on YouTube. There might be a support stream thing in the link in the description. Maybe, I'm not sure. But anyways, hopefully in a month or so, I can get sponsors. But thanks for the support. I appreciate it regardless. So let's actually get started now, right? So the first thing, there was a rumor for Naruto Shippuden, the actual trilogy of the Ninja Storm coming to Switch not too long ago, and then it was confirmed last week that it is coming. And it's basically, from what I know that much about it, so bear with me. It's a game. It's already there are these fighting games, right, that have been coming out non-Nintendo platforms for a while because Nintendo hardware has just been kind of weak, right? So those games haven't been able to run on the Wii or the Wii. Well, the Wii U is a different animal for different reasons, but whatever. It just hasn't been on Nintendo systems lately. But the Ninja Storm games are really good. They're great fighting games. One of the better anime, to video game adaptations that are out there. And now all three, or at least the first three, are coming into one package onto the Switch. It's getting remastered, slightly better graphics, all of the DLC, all of the content. It's a lot. If you never played any of them, it's a lot of content in one package right there. I might be excited about it. I'm gonna kind of wait until either I'll get my own review code for it and I'll review it and I'll let you guys know what I think, or I'll hear other people's reviews and then decide to buy it if it's really good. So, what do you guys think about this? Are either of you Naruto fans? Will, I think you are. Brandon, I don't think you are.
I'm not.
I am into the Naruto lore, but I got off a while ago and I haven't really gotten on. But I very much am into those three games that are coming to the Switch. I just don't think the port is very. I just don't see a lot of effort that was put into the port.
I haven't seen any footage for it. I don't know if there is footage, but I've seen that apparently the game is going to be running at 900p docked and 540p in handheld mode. It's going to be at a locked 30 frames per second, and it's going to have all of the DLC from all three games in one package. That's all I've heard. And that to me sounds pretty good. I have heard some people complain about the resolution, but I'll say this, Xbox One also had the game at 900p, and the Xbox One is stronger than the Switch, so if it looks pretty much the same, I would consider that a win.
Were the other consoles 30 frames or no?
I believe they were.
Yeah, I think the PS4 was 30 seconds, 30 frames a second locked.
I thought for a second you said 37 frames per second. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That'd be weird.
37. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I unfortunately never got into Naruto. I don't know if I'd like it. I do plan on trying it eventually. I have a bunch of other animes I'm trying to watch. Currently on One Piece, and that anime is
that'll take you
1,000 episodes.
They'll take you. It's not done yet. For the record, it's not done yet. It's probably not gonna finish for at least another 10 years.
It's crazy successful.
Yeah.
I never watched it when I was young because peer pressure and crap, and all the people at my school called it Narutard. Like retard, but Naruto they did not like anime at my school, so I was just like, ooh.
I bet there are people who do, but it's just one of those things where, I guess mainstream. There's a lot of mainstream people who see anime as kind of for nerds or losers. But I think a lot of people will find that when you go to college, all of a sudden things like Pokemon and anime become cool again because you have. I'm not trying to say
they're cool.
They are cool, right? But there are people who don't either A, experience it or B, just look for reasons to bully people. But I kid you not, there are so many anime fans out there, so many video game fans out there. If anyone says there aren't, that's just a lie. So, yeah. But that's just kind of the nature of, grade school bullying, picking on people. But I was, when I was in high school, I straight up, can I say I was popular? I was kind of popular, but, not not like cool kid popular, but like
Mhm.
oh, this guy's a cool dude, but you know, like
Yeah.
not like oh, he's the ultimate jock, everyone's swinging after him. I was just
No, I
like
understand
I had a
that.
lot
I
of
was the
friends and
same
people
way.
were cool with me, and no one. I kind of just did whatever I cared about. I didn't. I did
Mhm.
whatever the hell I wanted. Like I did just walk around playing Game Boy. In math class, I would start playing Pokemon. My teacher would be like, "Why are you
Yeah.
playing Pokemon?" I'd be like, because you suck. You know, like that class was a bad class. That math class, we were all in danger of failing because the teacher barely taught that semester. It was.
I
Weird.
don't think I've ever been in danger of failing.
It wasn't me that was failing. I was a B to A student, but like it
Mhm.
was the
No,
class.
yeah, I
It
know.
was a class.
My brother actually had a teacher like that. I think it was for like Latin or something. No, maybe it was for history. I don't know. I don't know why they were teaching Latin. It made no sense, but they were.
Yeah. So, I see everyone's like kind of talking about anime in the show. We always bring up anime because we love it. I feel like
Anime is awesome. Why
video
not?
games and anime kind of go together. There are some people who only like anime. There are some people who only like video games, but I feel like there is a huge overlap between the two.
Yeah.
For sure. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of popular video games are anime, like Naruto, Ultimate, Shippuden. There's so many. There's like 7 words in the title. Okay, Naruto, Shippuden, which is already a mouthful. Ultimate, Ninja Storm Trilogy. 6 words.
Have you
It's
guys
a lot.
That's insane.
seen that My Hero Academia One's Justice game? Like, have you seen any gameplay for that?
I have not seen any gameplay from it.
I
Yeah.
saw that trailer.
I know it could be a really good fighting game. Like they have so many characters which are all very different. Like
Mhm.
that's one. Like it's probably easier to create a really
Oh.
good fighting game for Hero Academia than it is for Dragon Ball. I think.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like
Even with my
For
limited
Dragon
knowledge
Ball.
of Dragon Ball, that'd be true.
I feel like for Dragon Ball they had to get the Blaze Blue team because you know they're like, oh, you guys really know your way around the fighting game. So
yeah, but also we've been seeing Dragon Ball games for like 20, 30 years, so it's not like you know
Yeah.
it's not necessarily new territory for that. But Hero Academia, a little. So I'll look into that as well. I haven't seen it yet though, so I'll have to check it out. But in terms of Naruto
I'm
Ninja,
gonna play it all, man.
I'm just gonna call it Naruto, the Naruto trilogy because there's too many words. I think I'm actually kind of excited about this. I was a big fan of the Clash of Ninja series back on the GameCube. That was my jam, man. Like I was so good at Clash of Ninja. Like that was one of the best like fighting games ever.
that one was cool.
It was so polished. Like, yeah, there wasn't a lot of content, but the fighting engine was just super fluid, super quick, and like that was one of the few games I got so good that I actually paid attention to frame by frame data. Like I was that good at that game. And then, of course, the Clash of Ninja series sort of stopped, and they moved on to the Ultimate Ninja Storm series that didn't come on Nintendo systems. So I was a little disappointed because at that time I only owned Nintendo systems, and I really liked the Clash of Ninja series, and it was unfortunate to see it kind of stop with the Wii. There was only like one Clash Ninja game on the Wii, and I think that was it. Yeah, which was sad. For me personally, at least. But the Ninja Storm series has continued, and I will get a chance to dabble in it. This is more of like a 3D style fighting game, though. It's not 2D style like the Clash of Ninja series. So it's different.
Is what a lot of people would consider.
It's like the
I guess-
Tenkaichi of the Naruto series, you know? Like, you
Yeah.
have the Dragon Ball Budokai, then you have the Budokai Tenkaichi, which could be confusing for people. But, this is it's like the 3D style, which is really cool. It probably feels more like an actual ninja game. And I've played them before, I just never owned one, so I never really got deep into it. But if the game is good, I will definitely be delving really into it. I mean, the game's already good, it's just if it's a good port.
Yeah,
And it's a lot of content.
Tenkaichi was good. So that was a good way to put it too.
Yeah.
The Tenkaichi games. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, but let's kind of dial this back to the whole graphical thing that we mentioned earlier, though. I don't think 900p is bad. I think if it's on par with the Xbox One version visually, I think that's great.
I don't really care that it's 900p. I don't really care about the dock mode. I think they could have got it to 720p for handheld. I mean, like because I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild is in 900p. It's still one of the best looking games of 2017. Probably the best looking game of 2017.
Well, my shtick with that is that here's the thing. Like, what I've noticed that there are some games on the Switch that they really focus on making it run really well in handheld. and then they just kind of slightly up the resolution for docked mode, and they don't really optimize for docked mode. And then there's the other side where they push the game for docked, and then they scale things back for handheld. The best example of that is Super Mario Odyssey. That is one of the few games where people say, "Oh, this game looks way better when you play it on television." I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but Mario Odyssey looks really good docked. It still looks good in handheld mode, but it very clearly is a much better looking game when you play it on your television.
Yeah, the resolution can get pretty low sometimes in docked mode when you're moving around.
Talking about Mario Odyssey?
Yes. That is actually the problem with the game is, well, not besides some other things, but when you stand still, it's at a higher resolution than when you're moving the camera around, and it can drop even lower when you have multiple enemies on screen.
I've never noticed.
If you have a Goomba stack, it can drop really low and get really blurry. The problem is it cuts the horizontal resolution by half while keeping the vertical resolution the same, so then it just ends up being really blurry.
I have noticed something like that. Like I made it all the way to the Seaside Kingdom and just played in dock mode until then I undocked. I was like, holy crap, this is ugly, but it varied. Like,
but so I mean, okay. Can we stop for a second? I'm just a little confused. So, Brandon, you're saying that in docked mode, when you play on the television, sometimes the resolution gets blurry. That's what you're saying,
no,
right?
In handheld mode.
Oh, because I heard docked mode, so I assume. Okay, so you're talking about handheld mode. Okay,
yeah,
all right. I thought you were talking about the television, so that's why I was confused. All right, yeah. I agree that in handheld mode, I think we all agree, it looks noticeably worse. Like,
it's not terrible, but it does. Yeah,
you get used to it, but like if you start off playing on television and you jump into portable mode, you're like, oh wait, this looks a little off. You know, like if you look at like Mario's eyes, like they look something like you can barely like see the color of his eyes because like they lower detail.
I mean, it's the same experience. So I mean, like, I don't really think visually it matters, like in handheld mode. But yeah, it's definitely noteworthy how it like the stark difference between the two.
And the reason I bring that up is because the game's still beautiful in handheld mode. It's just it looks much better when it's on television. Is it that they clearly pushed that game and they optimize it for both docked and handheld mode. But most games, they really focus on the game. They want the game to look good in handheld mode. Look at Doom. Look at Skyrim. Like if you go and watch different reviews for different publicists, they're always saying, "Oh yeah, the game looks really good in handheld mode. Looks really good in handheld mode, but it looks like a steaming pile of blurry dump when they play it on the television." That's what people are saying. I haven't played Doom or Skyrim yet on the Switch, so I can't say for myself. But
my bad.
No, go on.
Isn't the dev kit just the tablet, or I mean the Joy-Cons come with it, but isn't it just the tablet? So I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. I agree.
Yeah, I just think developers are prioritizing it looking better on handheld mode than docked mode. But what we're seeing with Naruto Trilogy, right, bringing this conversation back to where we sort of branched off, is that the game, for whatever reason, according to the reports, its resolution is 540p in handheld mode, which is something that's rare, and it's 900p in docked mode. So they might be trying to make the game look. They might be focusing on the game in docked mode because it's a fighting game, and maybe they want people to enjoy it multiplayer-wise, because, let's be real, like, a fighting game like that with the two little Joy-Cons in portable, like, tabletop mode, that probably isn't going to be the ideal multiplayer sort of situation, right? But at home, on the television, it would be. So...
Yeah, I will say this. Like, CyberConnect 2, like, the developers behind the games, They are really, 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 and I mean really flashy games. So maybe they did that as well as like to keep the frame rate stable and to preserve those special effects, to preserve all that flashiness. They dip the resolution. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they chose to sacrifice just resolution, because usually when you go from dock to handheld, there's also like a little bit of maybe a little bit lost in special effects or lighting or shadow quality or draw distance or something. Maybe they decided to go just resolution and drop that a little bit lower than they usually do, or into a weirder scale. in order to keep all the special effects, as you were saying, intact. That would make sense to me.
Yeah, so, I mean, let's kind of, I guess, draw this topic to a conclusion, then we'll go to the chat, because I know it's pretty active right now, and then we'll move on to the next topic. But, so, I'm excited for this game. I think, 900p, it sounds like that, but, we'll hold on a second. Are you just disappointed that it's 540p handheld mode, or is there another reason why you're not excited about this port?
I'm fine with it being 900p docked. It's just, I think they could have done better with handheld mode, but now that I've talked to you guys, I guess, about it, I can see why that could be the case. But like you said, we haven't really seen any real footage of it.
Yeah, and I mean, for the record, I don't think 540p on a handheld is bad. So I'm not concerned about that. But we'll see how it plays. But Will, I was actually asking if there's any other thing you've heard about aside from the graphics that make you concerned for this game. Because you were suggesting you were concerned earlier, so I was just wondering.
Oh, everything else is fine. The games are great. Everything else is fine.
Okay, so
all
hopefully
of them are very meaty games in their own right. So yeah.
Yeah, I see. That's the thing. There's gonna be so much content there. I wonder how it's gonna feel, because I didn't play. Apparently, Trilogy came out on Xbox One and PS4. I wasn't paying attention to it then, but we'll see how it all comes together. I'm not worried. I'm sure it's gonna be a fine port. So yeah, we'll see though. Now let's kind of get to the questions in the chat because there's a lot of them. Or there's a lot going on. Did you guys notice anything? Yeah, banana.
900 is nice, Jeremy. I was responding to Jeremy. I said 900 is nice. Rabbids is 900. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Mario is 900. Zelda is 900.
Yeah, 900p. It looks fine. I mean, 1080p would be great, but the difference between that is not nearly as big as some people tend to say. But it is noticeable.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people just get their hands on the numbers and they're just like, "Oh, it's not 1080, so the Switch sucks." And the only people, I feel like those are the only people that really care too much about the difference between 900 and 1080. All of a sudden, people are just graphics experts.
Right. They're like, I know everything there is to know about graphics, so let me tell you how it should be, because I'm a programmer and I know how to do things better than Nintendo and every other company.
Right.
My opinion is better than your opinion, and you can't say anything.
Yeah, but my opinion is even better than your opinion, so my opinion supersedes all. That's a joke.
I know.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of looking through the chat a little bit. Zach, you were asking about Mother or Earthbound being announced in a new virtual console. I think Mother 3 is going to eventually be localized. It's just kind of they're delaying it for whatever reason. I guess they do have something coming for the way you play old games on the Switch. Maybe we'll see something by E3, but I don't be shocked to see a Mother 3 something this year.
I think it's interesting because, we mentioned how Nintendo, my bad. We mentioned how Nintendo is going into new markets and stuff, but I think I heard this from Spawnwave, but he's saying how they released Star Fox 2 on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System just for that mini SNES. I think they might do a Game Boy or something like that and release Mother 3 like that. I don't know.
Oh, that would be interesting actually. So instead of a Mother 3 localized, I could kind of see that. Instead of it being localized for virtual console, I know some people won't like this, but if they release a Game Boy Classic, if they have a Game Boy Classic and the game you can play on the Game Boy Classic is Mother 3, yeah.
So in essence, I'll still never get to play it.
But didn't Mother 3 come out for Game Boy Advance technically?
I think if they ever made a Game Boy Classic, they'd make it a Game Boy Advance Classic. I don't think they'd make a non-color Game Boy.
What they could do is just kind of make it. They could call it Game Boy Classic, but it might be a compilation of advanced color and original Game Boy games.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't do that. I could see that becoming a little redundant.
So since we're on the topic, just kind of what games do you think would be on? Just keep it to 10. There might be more than that, but let's just think of 10 that would have to be, considering Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, the Color, and Advance, like that entire all the games that came out within that period. What games do you think would need to be on there? Like, when I think about it, Mother 3 could be that game. It's like, oh, we have a new game. You know, like Mother 3, a localized version, right?
That would have to be,
I definitely think some form of Kirby, at least one Kirby game.
All the Kirby games.
Metroid Zero Mission.
Mario and Luigi.
Metroid Fusion.
Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yes, that would have to be on there.
Superstar Saga.
They did just do the remake, though, so I don't know.
At least the original Pokemon games.
I could go on around about that remake.
The original Pokemon games, Red and Blue, at least.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, they could go through 3 generations of Pokemon, but I don't. Yeah. That's actually I don't know how they'll handle that because that's too many.
I think they would put Red and Blue.
Yeah.
And then just keep it at that.
Tetris obviously has to be on there. Mm-hmm. Tetris has to be on there. I might get it just for Tetris.
Maybe they put the Oracle games.
Oh, that'd be really cool. Yeah. Oh, but they could also put the Minish Cap. You know what? Maybe they would have to separate Advance. They might have to separate Advance and Color because there's a lot of different games they can put on there.
Yeah, between the 3 systems, like it's just massive.
It probably would have to separate it.
There are a lot of Mario games released on the original.
But what they could do is they could combine Color and the original Game Boy, because the Color did sort of, add color to those games anyways, the original games. So that's what they could do. So the first generation of Game Boy Classic would be all of that, but it would still be in color, but you could choose between non-color mode, tinted mode, because they will have different ways to look at it. So Tetris would still be on there, original Pokemon games would be on there. The Oracle games were for Game Boy Color, weren't they? Right? Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I don't think they. I don't think they were not. They were not advanced games. They were color games.
I never actually owned a Game Boy. My brother did, but I never did. I was too young.
But those are massive libraries, so I could see them sectioning off 2 and then leaving one, specifically the advanced one. Because
Mario
Game Boy
Land.
Advance
They
way
put
more
Mario Land. That'd be
ambitious games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is not a Game Boy Classic discussion. So let's just cut it off here. Yeah. Yeah. So let's.
The Sonic Adventure series. Yeah, I do too. With Sabbath, I do too.
So Sonic Adventure 3. Why not?
Let's move on to Luigi's Balloon World. So I assume you guys have played it.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No. What?
I've played it extensively.
Everyone but me has. I haven't played it because I wasn't interested in it very much. I'll probably check it out.
No.
I literally went into Mario Odyssey, saw Luigi, and was like, I'm just going to go get some moons.
Oh, well, you haven't gotten all the moons yet. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's pretty cool. Okay, here's the thing. It's really good because I'm one of those people who 100% Mario Odyssey, and I like doing the crazy jumps. I'm always thinking of ways to go further and, platforming, doing the stuff that doesn't seem possible. That's what I try to do in Mario Odyssey. And seeing all these balloons, it just gives me more reason to sort of push that boundary even more. People are pushing that boundary. You're seeing balloons in really weird places, and you have to wonder if it's even possible. And sometimes it is, and apparently sometimes it isn't, because there are people who are sort of not hacking the game, but the game's not. I guess they didn't really R&D this, because if you apparently can go far enough to certain locations that if you don't actually place your balloon, the game will ask you, oh, do you want us to place a balloon as close as possible to where you are at right now? And if you do that at certain positions, that will put the balloon inside a wall or something, which you cannot reach.
It's especially bad in New Donk. That's just terrible. All those people, I lost so much money messing around with those people.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes though, here's the problem though: the fact that it's happening, even if it's only 10% of the time, which I think it's a higher number than that, but let's just say it's only happening 10% of the time. Whenever you run into a balloon that seems impossible, your immediate instinct is going to be oh, okay, so this is one of those people that just cheated, so I can't get this balloon. But the truth is a lot of times people just hit it really, really well, and you can't find it. But that's the problem. The fact that some people are cheating, you won't have the confidence that it is findable sometimes. Sometimes you're just going to be like, oh, you're not going to even go the extra mile to see if it is, because it could be one of those that is impossible, so you're not going to feel as obliged to actually go and see if it really is. But like, there's a few I was playing through today, and I was like, oh, this doesn't seem possible. It doesn't. Like, I posted a video on my Twitter of one of the ones I found before I set up the discussion, and like, at first I was like, holy crap, how could this be all the way over there inside that structure? I just don't think that's possible. But I was like, you know what? Let me try. And I tried a couple of times, because at that point I had thousands of coins, and eventually I saw it. I was like, oh, it is possible. But by the time I saw it, it was like really far, so like I kept on thinking ways to go faster and faster and faster. I only had like 13 seconds to basically go across the map and fly like... I mean, if you guys just check out my Twitter, guys, @OnJustRestart. Yeah, that's a plug. But still, you can watch like different videos like that on my Twitter.
Yeah, that's another aspect of it. Like, it's really good for getting your money up. Like, you're like, oh, like if you play that game regularly, you will never ever be broke.
True.
I will say that. Like,
I gained thousands of coins today. I really got into it for like an hour, and I got good at it. And it's really cool.
That to grind out the last of my costumes that I need.
Right, that's the thing. That's
really expensive.
Yeah,
it gets you coins.
It for the skeleton costume. I finally got it. But,
nice.
Thank you, Jeremy, for pointing out that the first topic is done. I didn't scratch it out, but yeah, I actually think Balloon World adds an interesting dynamic because it gives you an avenue to kind of focus on just getting coins in a fun way. So, Brandon, you may have to play this DLC because if you want to get those costumes. And they add some more costumes that are pretty expensive and pretty cool, so it does give you reason to explore the balloon challenge. But it's fun in and of itself. So, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm probably still going to do it. In fact, actually, Kimishima, I don't think he's in the chat, but like he said on Twitter, he's like, oh, you should stream this. I didn't respond, but I probably will later. But I might. Hopefully you guys watch, because whenever I stream like a modern game, no one really watches. So hopefully next time you guys do watch.
I feel like
it's just hard to stream modern games because there's a lot of competition out there. It's just that simple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you won't really get any.
Yeah.
But I think to an extent, like, this is what DLC should be, and I'm not saying like because it's free. I would like all DLC to be free, but like they could have made it. I don't really care, but it adds that much more to the game, and like to an extent, it sort of adds like this online component to it. Like, if you are done in one world, it'll say, "Hey man, you could get more coins by going to this world," and you actually feel like you're playing in a world, like you actually feel connected to other people to an extent. And you also feel like this is real time. This is something I can be involved with along with everyone else. It's really, really interesting. It adds a whole new dynamic to the game.
Right, like I love it because, well, Mario Odyssey already had a bit of a online multiplayer aspect because the mini games you sort of compete with different people's scores, but this adds a whole other layer, which is really cool. Now, the thing is, this is free, like you said, and I don't think people would have bought this if it wasn't free. It's great that it was free. Like, this is great value for free DLC, you know, because it's given the game more life, you know, for free, which is really cool. But I feel like people wouldn't have been like, oh, this sounds like something that's worth my money, you know, just going out and collecting balloons, basically, right? That's the premise of it. So it's not like a very, I guess, sellable. It's not a very marketable, like, DLC content, but like it gets people playing the game again, and I think it's good setup for when they do introduce DLC that you will be buying this summer. I'm assuming this summer, which a lot of people are speculating it's going to be Sunshine DLC. I agree, actually. I think it's going to be Sunshine DLC.
See, I still think, like, even if Nintendo charged for it, people are still going to buy it. I don't really think. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, it doesn't really seem like a very, very meaty thing. It doesn't seem like of the utmost quality to the point where you pay real money. But stupid companies do stupid stuff all the time, and people still buy it. Even like, and some people consciously know that they're doing these things. Like, that was going to be a bad example, but Battlefront 2, and I know this is probably a dead horse, but I'm going to continue to beat it because I really hate EA.
Careful, PETA might come after you. because you're beating a dead horse.
Some people know EA is doing this stuff and are still buying it. Some people are like, well, I like Star Wars that much, and they're still buying, frankly, pointless microtransactions, loot boxes, and DLC. I mean, yeah, it's definitely.
Another company would have charged for this.
Yeah, like you said, Andre.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good setup because it's free. I don't think Nintendo's just going to be like, hey, we put in this extra work for free for you to. That's it.
It's getting people to play the game continuously. They're continuing the conversation with Mario Odyssey now. Like Mario Odyssey is sort of trending on YouTube again, right? But like, I think it's just good setup because they're gonna have to introduce DLC that you're gonna buy for Mario Odyssey, and I'm going back to it because I want to talk about it. Sunshine DLC, I think that's happening. Do you guys disagree? Do you think something else is gonna happen, or do you have a different take on it? Where do you think that's sort of headed?
I 100% disagree.
Oh,
No,
really? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like, what?
I'm sorry, your opinion is wrong, sir.
That's right. It's not happening because it's my opinion that it's not happening. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But no, I agree. Like we were talking about this in the Discord. It's Nintendo's perfect opportunity. This is a game about going to different kingdoms with different cultures with different enemies. So I do feel like in some sort they have to. I feel like it's almost criminal for them to not like give Sunshine at least a little callback. So I do feel like something related to that is coming.
Yeah, especially with that Isle Delfino being on the map and stuff. And then they took it off.
I saw a video that explained, actually I think it was Josh Thomas, which I know not a lot of you love Josh Thomas, but whatever.
I saw it in my recommended and I did not click on it on purpose.
Do you think because I watched it that maybe YouTube was like, oh, these guys are friends, they interact with each other all the time, so if he watched it, maybe he'll like it too?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. The algorithm might look at stuff like that. I know Facebook does, so whatever. But anyways, the point is that apparently the texture's still there. It's just only half of the like the coloring is gone. Like you can still sort of make out something that was there initially, right? Like it's like if you look at where the Isle Delfino thing is next to the Mushroom Kingdom on the map, or at least the globe, like you'll notice that there's still like it's bumpy. Like it looks like the water's in the shape of an island, but it's all blue. So the texture could still be there, right? But I would, or it'd be really interesting. I doubt they'll do this, but just an idea. What if that's because it's blue there, and they explain, because this Isle Delfino got flooded, and it's been reflooded, and now you have to. They make a little story for the Isle Delfino Kingdom where you have to help it deflood and clean it up. Like it's been overflooded. You have to figure out ways to resurface the land or whatever. Maybe. Mm-hmm. And now that I think about it more, I'm thinking out loud, because if you think about the other kingdoms, when you went to those kingdoms, obviously you were chasing Bowser, right? But each kingdom had a bit of a story progression, and like as you progressed in the kingdom, like the map changed a little bit. So maybe, this Isle Delfino thing would be DLC, right? But maybe they could still implement that sort of map changing mechanic, right? Where the story for this Isle Delfino DLC is that it was flooded, and it's your job to help resurface the land. Maybe that's an idea that could sort of employ to, make things a bit more interesting. But regardless,
I doubt anyone noticed that. I mean, like I know people noticed, but I don't think like the massive. The whole conglomerate of the player base of Super Mario Odyssey noticed that, hey, there was a texture there, I think, and then it's gone.
No, I don't think they're going to explain that to people. Like, hey, no, I'm just saying that, like, they could use that as an idea, though. Like...
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting idea.
But regardless, I feel like at least they'll definitely... recreate Isle Delfino as like where you explore. And my idea is that they can't recreate the entire Sunshine map, like all like 6 or 7, 8 regions or something. But what they maybe could do is that all the different warp pipes in Isle Delfino, like that lead to the separate challenges. Those challenges could be in different areas in Sunshine from the different areas of the game. That way you could sort of see different parts of the game. Like maybe they could have the park, maybe they could have the volcano, the Pianta village, the Naiko village, like those. It'd be really cool to see, like maybe just pieces of it with certain like linear challenges. And I would Yeah, I think that would work, man. I know a lot of viewers would want to see that. So
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
like that's a very back to that was a good thing that you said too just then. But I like back to the idea where it's just flooded. It would have to be like completely covered up with water. So what if it was like, I don't know. What if it? Nah, it's gonna get weird. But what if it like became? Because it's literally a dolphin. So like the island is shaped like a dolphin. So I just thought that was interesting. But what if it just submerged completely underwater and became like this myth of some sorts? Like, oh, I heard that Atlantis is somewhere on this planet and stuff like that. That would be interesting. But it's too crazy.
I think it's a little too crazy.
Yeah.
Especially since they already know that
it was just an idea. I doubt that they would use that it is covered up with water. Yeah, it was just.
I also doubt that they would go with the story that Isle Delfino was flooded, but they could, and it would make sense because the kingdoms are sort of developed. Like my only disagreement with the reason why I'm not sure that idea would work, Will, is because one, they've already been to Sunshine before. It's Isle Delfino. It's a vacation spot, right? It's a known quantity. Like, it's known to exist within the world of Mario. It's not like this hidden Atlantic world, right? They could retcon that, I guess, but I feel like they wouldn't.
I mean,
so
the Mario lore itself is
inconsistent and all over the place. True.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo has any qualms with just saying, "Hey, nope."
Yeah, everything about Sunshine was weird. The story, it made not a lot of sense.
It made perfect sense. What are you talking about? Why do you think Bowser's always after Peach? Because they had an affair and baby Bowser is their child. Mm-hmm. Peach was drunk, though, so that's why she doesn't know.
Yeah, she's like, what? Is this true? It always weirds me out.
Makes perfect sense. Can't you see it? They have the same...
That was so crazy.
She brings it up like as a possibility. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Then you got EGAD shipping random stuff to the island.
I think EGAD is the main bad guy for all of Super Mario. Like, I think he's a true villain. I don't actually think he's a villain, but I think he's not a good guy either. I think he's just a scientist who does things that aren't necessarily good for the sake of science, like releasing a whole bunch of evil spirits all throughout a mansion and inviting Luigi to sort of test it out and be his guinea pig. Like, that's, sort of my thought process on Luigi's Mansion.
It sounds like a game theory. Like
there's a game theory that's basically that. Yeah.
Where he's like, EGAD, he kind of plays both sides for profit and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's interesting.
I do think Sunshine was an underrated game, by the way, guys. Sabbath was asking. Personally, I think Sunshine. Yeah, Brandon, you don't.
It's very underrated. Just like Wind Waker. I don't want to say Wind Waker is, but Wind Waker was very not overrated, underrated. Because of its art style. That was crazy.
That game was so good.
Well, here's the thing. So,
EGAD is secretly a terrorist.
I think Super Mario Sunshine and The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, interestingly, are both kind of aquatic, right? But I think they're both really good games, and they're both sort of different from most of their respective series. But when they were both introduced, because they were so different, fans were really upset. It was also one of those things where, like, the 3D era got to a point where things were, like, actually easy on the eyes to watch, and I think people really wanted, like, more of a traditional game for both series, and we didn't get that till years later for both. But, like, I feel like Wind Waker obviously is a great game. Like, objectively speaking, Wind Waker is a really good game, right? Mm-hmm. And I think history has righted that wrong. Like, everyone loves Wind Waker now, but at first people were really upset by the visual style. And then for Mario Sunshine, it did have some issues, right? Like, I think the way they handled blue coins is a little weird. And I know a lot of people had a problem with the camera. I don't, but I guess I'm just a boss with cameras. But I know a lot of people did, and they just didn't feel Sunshine what felt a lot of very Mario-like, especially with Flood. But I loved all of that. I thought it was all really cool, I didn't have expectations for the next Mario game. I saw Sunshine, and I judged it based off its own merits, and I thought it was really amazing. And it has a soft spot in my heart, personally. And I would love if they were to have an HD remaster of that game. Love it.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole... just GameCube... Like, that version of Nintendo with the GameCube was super creative and off the wall, and I feel like just the entirety of it was very underrated. And like, even if Sunshine did have a flaw or two, it definitely, those little flaws get blown way out of proportion. So it's still underrated in a sense. And I still feel like, I mean, Wind Waker, I don't really think it's underrated anymore. Because I know a lot of people, like, pretty much...
I want to refer to something in the chat, though. I saw something. So, No Filter Nintendo Podcast is saying, don't compare those two. Sunshine might be a tad underrated, but Wind Waker was criminally underrated. So, for full clarity here, like, yeah, I think Wind Waker had got way too much hate. Like, people were purely hating on it because they didn't want to respect the art style. And Wind Waker, objectively speaking, is a better game than Mario Sunshine. I still love both games.
I don't think.
I agree with that.
I don't think.
Okay, if we take this to Metacritic, Wind Waker destroys Sunshine. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Review wise,
but Sunshine sold better than Wind Waker. Wouldn't that make it objective?
That's because it's Mario.
What?
Sales
Exactly, but so we can't really
sell all the time.
There's no real
all the time.
There's no real way to say, hey, one is objectively better than the other. I don't think, because mostly when it comes to just thoughts on the game, it's just opinion.
No, my opinion is the best, and Wind Waker is a million times better.
Well, I think most people would agree that Wind Waker is the better game, but they're two completely different games, so it's not even really worth comparing them. I'm just talking about as Nintendo's Mario and Zelda for the time. They both, interestingly, were both based off water. They both were a little different from the rest of their series, and they both had to deal with a little bit of flack for being different. Wind Waker had to deal with more flack because of the style and because of people's expectations. Sunshine had some issues with the gameplay. I still love it, but it had some issues, and objectively speaking, while it was a good game, it may not have been as great as Mario 64, while Wind Waker is a very well done game, although you could also make the argument it had some pacing issues with all the surfing around. But anyways, the point still stands. Both are great games, and I'm just, they both had to deal with their own issues, but Wind Waker did have to deal with more issues.
My point was just from the beginning, since I do kind of feel like we sort of turned this into a whole discussion about which one is more underrated.
This is our Balloon World topic, by the way.
Both games are criminally underrated for no real reason. There you go.
I actually think
I think the reason is real. I just don't think it's a good reason.
Yeah. Well, I actually like Sunshine.
If you I said, like you said, like I acknowledge that Sunshine might have some flaws when it comes to player to player. Of course, someone's gonna find a flaw, but I still feel like it's still criminally underrated because said flaws are blown out of proportion. Blue coins, sure, oh my goodness. The blue coins completely ruined the game for me. I can't play this game anymore. I'm sorry. I rage. Like, it's just blown out of proportion. So, in that sense, it is still very criminally underrated. I think I'm going to stand by that. Because it just...
Oh, sorry. For me, it's not about the art style or the story. I actually found those things to be kind of interesting, except the whole Peach thing that was weird. And Bowser Jr., I don't know what was up with him. And the voice acting was terrible. But I didn't mind anything except the gameplay itself. I just didn't enjoy it. Like, I don't know why. I didn't think it controlled very well.
You're not a Mario fan. Banish him. Heathen!
Mario 64 is a million times better. I don't know. I feel like it didn't control well.
Not everyone likes Mario Sunshine. I mean, that's unfortunately the truth. It's a really good game, though, so you should like it. So you should get your opinions checked.
I played through it with no preconceived notions other than I think I'd like this because it's a Mario game, and I came away not enjoying it.
Your opinion is not my opinion, so it doesn't matter. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So let's just step things back. I think most people love both games. More people tend to love Wind Waker. We get that, whatever. But they're still both good games. Let's just leave it at that for now.
It's a good.
Kirby
I like
guy.
both.
Kirby guy. I am very, very hyped for Star Allies.
I wonder why, Kirby guy. Kirby guy. What's up, Kirby guy? Yeah. To read what was I gonna say? I was just looking at the chat. Actually,
Galaxy is better than Sunshine. I will say that, Jeremy.
For the record, when I said that Wind Waker is objectively better than Mario Sunshine. I meant that the reviews are better. Like in terms of the only way we can really like score a game, which isn't necessarily the best way to sort of assess a game. The numbers were better for Wind Waker in terms of reviews, but yes, Sunshine did sell better. But regardless, they're both good games. Everyone has different opinions.
Like you said, it's not really the best way.
Yeah.
It's not really. I mean, reviews aren't really finite. I mean, reviews change all the time. I don't really. Like you said, they're still both good games. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to the next topic. Actually, what was I gonna say? There is something I saw in the chat, but I missed it. Let me see. That I wanted to sort of answer. If anyone has any questions right now and you don't want me to answer them until later.
Savage said he always thought EGAD was. Oh.
Did you even English now?
No, I did in English.
Andre?
I did in English. I didn't do it. Kimishima was asking about this game theory about Rosalina's parents. It was interesting. I would have to go back and read through the entire story of Rosalina, but it does seem like her lineage is somehow tied into Peach and Mario's lineage somehow, or in Luigi's. I think it's kind of interesting, but it may just be a nod and not actual oh, Rosalina is related to them somehow, but I would have to look into that. But yeah, it's a pretty cool theory, so you guys should search it. Just search Rosalina's parents. I'm sure it'll come up.
She has a very, very deep story. It almost doesn't even fit in the Mario universe. I love Rosalina. She has a very, very deep story.
I like what Sabbath said. He said he always thought that EGAD was related to Captain Olimar. I don't know if that's true, but it's pretty cool headcanon. I mean, they both have big noses, and their heads are, tiny. The thing is that Olimar isn't. No, he's not. He's an alien from a far off planet, and he's miniature compared to people. And we're assuming. So
I don't see how that would be possible.
I don't know if it's real, but hey, maybe if you think about ancestry, maybe humans came from one planet and they separated. Some of them became like Olimar, others went to Earth and became like EGAD.
They do look really simple.
It's at least an interesting idea.
Yeah, Mario lives on Earth. I think so.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
He does go to New Donk City. Which
is New Donk City, New York, though?
Yeah, and the people are never really referred to as human.
No, we don't know what they are. Maybe they're all robots.
I think Nintendo refers to them as humans sometimes, when talking about the game, but not in the game.
Maybe they're artificial humans, aka androids.
Maybe.
Skynet has taken over the Mario universe.
Ningen. Alright, so, let's move on to the next topic. Is there anything else we want to say about Luigi's Balloon World? I think Nintendo should patch the thing so where people can sort of cheat, but aside from that, I think it's really good. It adds a lot of value to the game, and it sets things up for paid DLC later on.
Yeah, it definitely really does reinvigorate. But I do have one thing to say about it. No, I don't really have anything left. It was gonna be like a joke, and I was gonna be like, GameCube Nintendo was criminally underrated, and I was gonna be like, okay, Andres, go. But
fail.
I was gonna pan out.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All I have to say about it is I'll probably try it out pretty soon when I want to.
It's free, Brandon. It's free.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Whenever I decide I want to stop getting moons and get some costumes, I'll do it.
All right. So, Pokemon Day is tomorrow. If any of you watch this in the future, I was recording and we were talking about this. What day is today? The 26th? Today's the 26th. Tomorrow, the 27th, is Pokemon Day. And if I remember correctly, Pokemon Day is Pokemon Day because that was the day that the first Pokemon games came out.
I think so, yeah.
If I'm wrong, someone let me know in the chat, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So,
that's what I think it is.
Tomorrow they're going to have a lot of Pokemon stuff in the news. There's going to be Snapchat filters. There's going to be a Pokemon Go update, I believe. There's going to be some sort of news about the Pokemon movie. I'm not sure. I think it might just be airing somewhere. That's from what I know. That's pretty much everything that's confirmed. There might be a couple other little things, but there's going to be a lot of talk and publicity about Pokemon tomorrow. And the only reason I care about this, I love Pokemon, but all of those things are just trivial to me personally. The thing that I care about is the possibility that they might use this as a day to show off footage for Pokemon Switch. That's why I'm excited about tomorrow, potentially. And yeah, I think there's a chance. I don't think this is 100% or 80 or even. I'm even hesitant to say it's going to be a 50% chance we'll see Pokemon Switch tomorrow, but I do think there's a possibility. I don't want to get everyone too excited about this, but just have your phones ready, or just check the internet a couple times tomorrow, just in case. That's all I'm saying. There's a chance. I don't know how high. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Pokemon Switch is going to be revealed tomorrow, actually, like an actual trailer? There's going to be no direct because it's going to be a Pokemon holiday, but will there be maybe they'll drop a trailer? Do you think that's an option, or do you guys just think there's no chance at all we're seeing Pokemon tomorrow?
I think there's a possibility that they drop something very small and maybe announce a direct later, because I think we may see a direct sometime for Pokemon. Because I don't think they're going to show it off first at E3 or anything, and I think they'll want to do a direct before then. So I think eventually we'll be seeing a Pokemon Direct sometime between now and E3. That just makes sense to me, assuming it's coming out this year. So maybe they announce a direct, maybe show off a little bit of teaser or concept or something.
Yeah. I feel like if they do show something tomorrow, even if it's like artwork, I guess, or something, I feel like it is, because I already have my... I think the Nintendo community, for the most part, saw that, it's getting localized and stuff. I think a lot of people already expect it to come out in 2018. So if they show something tomorrow, it's definitely coming out in 2018, if you ask me. But, it's very interesting because you can look at it from, multiple viewpoints. The Pokemon company, they aren't really owned by Nintendo, and they do these things pretty often without Nintendo's without Nintendo breathing down their neck and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's really interesting. I don't think and I was talking to Brandon about it on Twitter, and he was like, it is around that time that they show Pokemon off, and I was like, it's very, very true, very good point.
Well, so I want to reference some things No Filter Nintendo podcast is saying. So when Pokemon Switch was announced at E3 last year, that was not when they begun development. I know you're not necessarily saying that, but we know development started a while before that. That's all we know for sure. Now we don't know how long for sure, but it definitely didn't start a month or two before that. It's a lot. It's pretty far along. Nintendo's literally saying it's 2018 or later, so it's already confirmed. It's 100% known, public and official, that Nintendo is trying to get Pokemon Switch out this year. Will they? That remains to be seen. But they are trying to do it. They do think there's still at least a chance that Pokemon Switch will come out this year. That is public knowledge at this point. So the game's been in development for at least a couple years already.
Yeah, I think.
But will it come out this year? Will it be shown off anytime soon? That's still up in the air.
I feel like I just had to realize that you weren't really trying to say anything by saying it's been in development for a while, because I already knew. But yeah, it's definitely. I feel like it's coming out this. I feel like, and I know this might piss some people off, but I feel like pretty much Pokemon Smash and Bayonetta 3 are coming out this year. I just don't the only game I don't think is coming out this year, or it might be a close call, is Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. We have this conversation almost every week, so I don't want to say much, but I'll just say this one thing. I'll probably do this for a little while. I think it's more likely to expect games that were announced at last E3 to come out, sooner than games that haven't even been announced yet. Right, so games that like Animal Crossing, even it hasn't been announced yet. So I'm not saying it won't come this year. I'm just simply saying that if I had to place my bets, I place my bets on Pokemon rather than Animal Crossing. But they both could still come out this year. I mean, Animal Crossing could be right around the corner. Nintendo could release it this summertime. They announced it at E3. Well, maybe not that soon, but I don't know. But we'll see.
Very interesting way to look at it.
One more thing, actually. I want to say one more thing, though. I think it's really... I don't expect Nintendo to talk about a specific game for 3 E3s in a row. So if they announced Pokemon last year and Metroid, they probably will mention it again this year. I doubt we'll. It seems weird to me that they would have to talk about Pokemon and Metroid for 3 E3s in a row. They're not Sony, so I don't expect that. But we'll see.
I could see it just because Metroid Prime 4 wasn't in Pokemon. Well, less Pokemon, but more Metroid Prime 4. It wasn't even really talked about. It was just like, hey, this exists.
It could be like a Xenoblade X sort of thing, where a Xenoblade X was basically announced like a few months into the Wii U's life cycle, and we didn't see it till like 3 years later. So it could be something like that. I don't think it will be, but it could be.
Because like when I said close call, like I feel like at maybe the earliest, I feel like it could, like Xenoblade 2 came out December 1st, like exactly. Like I feel like that was a really, really close call. So maybe it could do that, but I don't like. I can see Metroid being like before E3 next year, like because that's the only thing that isn't really being talked about at all, and it doesn't really, like I feel like Bayonetta 3, like the only reason I feel like Bayonetta 3 has a sort of a chance to come out this year is because it has Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch. Like I doubt that they would just do that for fun and then be like, well, you know. We just wanted to do it because we love our fans. I mean, that's cool. I think they did it because of that. But, like, I do feel like they wouldn't be like, okay, Bayonetta 1+2 this year, and then you're going to wait a whole year for Bayonetta 3. I feel like it's going to lead up to something this year.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, because if it came out next holiday, that would be, like, over a year and a half.
I want to reference a few things in the chat. So, one, Gohan added me. He said, the first Pokemon game debuted on, February 27th. These are the news for. This is what he's saying, because I missed a couple things. They will have some sort of Pilachi talk on Alexa. I don't know what that is, but maybe some of you guys do know. There's gonna be Snapchat filters. A Pokemon movie will be available on Pokemon TV. That's what it is, right? And there's something going. He said gift on Pokemon Go. I guess okay. So they're having some sort of event on Pokemon Go then. Okay. And what else was it? I forgot what else I wanted to say. I forgot. Oh well. I forgot.
Yeah, Mr. Online dude, that could be it. Like they maybe don't have anything to say because Bandai Namco is working. Maybe they don't have anything to say because of that. Well, maybe it could come out this year.
Yeah, actually, I remember what I wanted to say.
Out this year.
Yeah, me either. But
you don't think what?
I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out this year.
Yeah, me either. I don't I don't really see it coming out this year either. But yeah,
I do, but it doesn't matter. So we're gonna talk. There's Josh Sheriff is saying I don't know how to read his comment. I think they were going to call Pokemon Switch maybe Pokemon Stars. And then he went on to say, but they scrapped the name of Pokemon Stars. So this is the story, okay? Now here's the thing: when I say the story, it's not 100% confirmed, but it's probably true because it's all coming from Eurogamer, right? And they're a reputable source. They provide a lot of information, but they report on things that they hear about that are happening, but sometimes you don't get the full details. But anyways, so what happened was that Eurogamer reported Pokemon Stars before last year's E3. Right, and Pokemon Stars is supposedly going to be coming to Switch, and I think the story was that it might also be coming to 3DS at the time, and people were thinking, oh, the Pokemon game might come out last year. People were talking about a Pokemon game coming out for Switch last year, and that being Pokemon Stars, but it just basically being like what Sun and Moon were, but basically HD versions of that, basically. So that didn't happen, though. We didn't see a Stars. We didn't see that. But so they went on to explain months later that basically Pokemon Stars was a project that they were still not 100% sure where they were going with the direction of Pokemon for Switch, and they were developing, I guess, an engine that sort of ran the same thing. It ran the same game, but obviously like higher specs for Ultra Sun and Moon. And eventually they canned that. They was just basically them testing the engine, and they just focused on Ultra Sun and Moon, and the more veteran team has been working on Pokemon. Well, no longer Stars. That was just basically a project, and it's more whatever Pokemon Switch is going to be, that's what it's going to be. So Pokemon Stars was a code name or what have you for whatever Pokemon was working on at the time, but it's, that diverged into two different directions. One part of it became Ultra Sun and Moon, and the other part of it is, you know, whatever Pokemon Switch is going to be. That's sort of the story from Eurogame. You guys can Google that yourselves. I probably butchered that story slightly, but I'm pretty close to what exactly the details are. But if you want to see it for yourself, just Google Eurogamer Pokemon Stars. There'll be a couple articles on it. So yeah, just, you know, putting that out there for you guys.
Yeah, and it just makes sense that they would have been working on this game for a while. They said it themselves that they kind of explained how these games work and how they make them, is that they have one really team of really veteran developers who work closely with like the main project, like Sun and Moon instead of Ultra Sun Moon, and they make that, and then about a year or so before it comes out, or like a year to 6 months before it comes out, they stop working on that because it's mostly just refinements and coding and different things like that during the general graphics. They leave that to the younger developers to do the rest of the game and the third version, and then they start working on the next generation of Pokemon as the main devs. So it would make sense, since Sun and Moon came out late 2016, it would make sense that they started work on Pokemon Switch early to mid 2016. So by the time it would come out late this year, it would have been about 3 years of development, which is about the time it takes to make a Pokemon game.
True. But also, we have to take into consideration that this Pokemon game for Switch may be their biggest project yet, so that could lead to potential delays, but of course Pokemon Company could foresee this, bring in more people, hire more people.
They have been hiring. That's been a big thing that they've been doing recently.
So, yeah, we'll see. But, you know, I'm not even sure Nintendo knows when Pokemon's coming out yet, to be honest.
Emily Rogers only wants fans to get overexcited. No, I don't think she sees it as like amusing to make fans excited. I just think she knows, she just finds stuff out and just.
Yeah, I don't think she's a sensationalist. I don't think she's doing things for because she's actually been pretty reserved most of the time. I think perhaps early on, we're talking about years ago. Like years ago, I think maybe at first she said some things that perhaps were debatable, right? But I don't know exactly what it is, but she, time and time again, has reported things, and they've all come true. The only thing that I can think of that hasn't come true is Mother 3.
Yeah,
now,
but I think Nintendo's pulling some weird stuff in the background on that game.
Right. I just want to say this. I've said this multiple times already, but I know there's new people. What I'm trying to... No.
I didn't hear it.
What?
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear the game.
Mother 3.
Oh,
Mother 3. But what I was trying to say is that when you have insiders talking about, leaks or things that are going on during development, that's the problem. When you report things that are happening during development, things are still changing. The companies themselves still don't know what's going to happen to the game because things fluctuate. That's why, well, according to Eurogamer at least, the Pokemon Stars thing didn't come true because they were reporting on something in the middle of development, and obviously Pokemon Stars didn't pan out, at least not the way it was reported. It was just something that they were working on behind closed doors where they didn't want the public to know about it, but because it was reported on, it didn't come to fruition, and obviously it seems like they were just talking out of their butts, but it was because they're reporting about something that was actually ongoing and still not finalized. So Mother 3 may have been in the works or in the talks at one point, and Emily Rogers heard about that, but for whatever reason, plans changed, or maybe they still plan on bringing it out, just not yet. Maybe it is coming out with Virtual Console later this year or something along those lines. So I don't know, but that's all I'm saying is you go. I
believe Emily. I believe Emily because, like you said, she out of all of them, I feel like she is perhaps one of the most reserved. Like she doesn't really say anything very often. So I do feel like what she says, I'm not gonna say like it shouldn't be taken with a grain of salt. Of course, just take everything with a grain of salt. But I do feel like what she says is like. It is very credible, I feel it.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen is they're going to go and they're going to be like, oh, we forgot to make Pokemon Z, so here you go, Pokemon Z on the Switch.
That'll piss me off. Yeah. That'll piss me off. Yeah, so let's move away from Pokemon for now, let's get into the other rumor from Emily Rogers, which is Smash Brothers. So this is a story, basically. Emily Rogers on, what was the website? Restart Era? I forget. It doesn't matter. The point is, Reset Era. Thank you. That was my name. Reset Era, right. And on there, she talked about a few different things. But basically, she said she expects, from what she's heard, that Super Smash Brothers is coming this year. It's going to be announced later this year, and it's going to come out this year. And it's going to basically be a package that's going to include most of the 3DS content, most of the Wii U content put together, and they're going to include some new content as well. Which I think is what a lot of us have been speculating. And that's the rumor, right? Because it's coming from Emily Rogers, not Nintendo, so it's a rumor. But this is one of those things where most people kind of believe her. And, yeah, I believe her. You know, this is one of those things where I think she's probably right. I mean, it only makes sense to bring out Smash Brothers. And it's not like it's a full-on new game. It's basically them adding new content to something they already created. So I think that's pretty realistic. I don't think it's too crazy. So I could see...
I think it's noteworthy that, like, she did specifically say, look, I didn't say it was a port. I didn't say it was a new game. Like, I feel she was very, very, you know, astute about pointing that out. She's like, I didn't say it was a new game. I didn't say it was a port. But it like you said, it does very much sound like a port of 4.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not necessarily a sequel or a port. It's just going to be Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. I'm for damn sure that's what they're going to call it. Maybe I'm wrong, but don't be shocked if that's going to be the name. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. And I'm pretty sure it's going to have new content. And I would like them to add a story mode. I mean, I literally created a video about exactly all of this as well. Go to my channel. It's the main video up there. It's a plug, yes, but it's also a very valid one. Check it out. I talk about all the Smash stuff there, so yeah.
I'm gonna say it.
What?
Son Gohan is our lucky because like we did. He's like, I just want to hear you guys' dream character rosters, and then bam, a few weeks later, Emily Rogers like, hey, I heard Smash is coming to Switch, so keep that up, Son Gohan.
Yeah, no, he's actually been like subtly leaking all the information to us. Yeah. Keep it up. We don't know what you're doing. Just keep it up. No, it was actually a great topic. I think it was a pretty good discussion. We just talked about like our potential characters. So VC Online added me. He asked me, will On to Restart, that being me, have a special live stream discussion on April 20th for Nintendo Labo? That could be a very interesting day. It would be a very interesting day, and I do not have any concrete plans as to what I will be doing on 420. But
420?
You're not going to blazing?
I'm not going to do anything illegal on stream. That's what I'm going to tell you. But that doesn't mean I will not stream Nintendo Labo on 420. I'll have something. Maybe I will do a live stream. We'll see. It kind of depends. We'll see how things sort of pan out. One of the problems with I guess me streaming Nintendo Labo is that I feel like I only have 3 people watching. But if the channel grows and the streaming continues to grow, maybe I'll feel like, a lot of you guys would actually be watching that instead of being busy on 420. So we'll see what happens. But if you want it to happen,
420. So that's asking. A Friday, okay.
Yeah.
I'll be
Friday. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I could make something like that work. So Kimishi was asking, what are Emily Rogers' sources? Nintendo employees? It's a great question. It's a really good question, actually. I don't really know who her sources are.
It's probably Nintendo employees of some sort.
Yeah,
I don't know who her sources are. I don't.
They have to have some sort of foothold in Nintendo or something.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is that she's reported on a lot of things, and they've come true. That's like the Mario Rabbids thing. She reported on that. That came true.
Wasn't she the one that reported that the NX at the time
was a hybrid console? She reported on that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She also reported that there would be some sort of special, shorter Nintendo announcement the week that Nintendo Labo was announced.
Yeah, she specifically said it would be a casual accessory.
Right.
A lot of people thought it was going to be a game.
Yeah,
direct.
so she knows things. She knows things. I don't know how she knows things, though.
She also said this... Oh, my
Go
bad.
on.
I was gonna say it's interesting because she also said this year Nintendo would be relying on third party. So I think that's
So here's the other
it's coming
thing,
too
though.
soon.
Here's the other thing, though. While I openly acknowledge that Emily Rogers clearly has sources, I don't know who, but yes. I also think that a lot of times she puts in her own opinion on things and describes how she might see it. She might try to control the narrative a little bit, and I sort of see that sometimes, and I kind of don't like it. Like, I remember the way she described what she thought was going to be Nintendo's first year with Switch, and I didn't think it sounded good at all, right? Because she tried to control the narrative on it. She tried to not overhype people about it. And then 2017 happened, and guess what? It was arguably the best Nintendo year of all time. Arguably. So, I'm just going to say that I would take her opinions. They're just her opinions, man. And I think she's trying to control the narrative a little bit for whatever reason. Maybe just to avoid all the hate and heat that she gets for talking about these things. Like, she doesn't... That's the thing. Like, she says these things sometimes, and I think a lot of it has to do with her... She's mentioned it before, like, she doesn't like the hate that she gets. Like, she gets a lot of publicity, and she's, like, made her Twitter private and different things like that, moving on to different platforms. I think a lot of it has to do with the amount of hate she gets, and she doesn't like it. I mean, it's understandably so. A lot of people don't like that. So, I feel like she tries to control the narrative. So I wouldn't take her opinion, like, when she describes how she thinks the year is going to be, with too much... I would take a lot of salt with it, is basically all I'm saying. I do think there's going to be a lot of ports. We already know about ports. I don't think Nintendo's next E3 is going to come, and it's just going to be ports, though. Like, I don't think we're going to come to E3 and it's going to be Smash port.
I don't think they're going to talk about ports at E3.
No, like, I think the first half... I think we pretty much know most of what this first half is going to be. Like, pretty much what the Nintendo Direct Mini was, that's probably what we're getting until E3, basically. There might be a couple little surprises here and there, but I don't expect... At this point... I do not expect Fire Emblem or Animal Crossing or Pikmin or Metroid or Pokemon until at least after E3. At least after, and some of that may not come this year. So,
Yeah, she did report Paper Mario Kimishima. She reported Color Splash. I remember when she was like, "Oh yeah, there's a Paper Mario game coming to Wii U." Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So, let me ask you guys a question, though. Do you believe Emily Rogers here? Do you think that what she's saying about Super Smash Bros. Coming out this year, as I said, being a combination of 3DS and Wii U content with some new content, maybe enough for it to feel like its own game in its own right, do you think that's actually come this year?
Well, I've been talking about this for a while. I made a video weeks ago saying that this was probably going to happen. So, yeah, I think I believe her. And I know some people, like Aaron in the chat, has been saying that a Smash port would be underwhelming. I don't think so, and I don't think they're going to brand it as a port.
I don't want to call it a port. I think it's going to be closer to Splatoon 2.
Yeah. It's been so long since Smash Wii U and 3DS came out. They've had plenty of time to make a lot of new content and upgrade the 3DS content into HD, which in itself is something that's really, really hard. It takes a lot of effort to do, which is also.
I really want there to be a story mode, though. I want them to make something like Subspace Emissary, but better.
I actually like Subspace Emissary.
I liked it, but I do.
But it could have been a lot better, but it was good.
Yeah,
I think Smash 4 definitely felt lacking without it.
That was the thing. Like I think the mechanics for Smash 4. I think even the graphics were good. I do feel like they could improve the graphics a little bit. Maybe have a slightly better lighting engine.
Look a bit, and
maybe higher res textures. Like some of the textures, I think could be a little better. But it's still good. Like it's 1080p 60 frames per second, even with 8 characters on screen, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I definitely would like to see them at least spruce it up a little bit. But I think the biggest thing for me would be if they were to add, like we were saying, an actual single-player mode. But regardless, back to the point, though, I think Smash Brothers is pretty likely for this year. Like I mentioned like 20 minutes ago, it just doesn't seem like... If they're just kind of stacking on to what they did with the Wii U and just improving upon it instead of building something ground up, it's almost been 4 years. Like there's enough time to create a whole other game in that time frame. So I don't think it's crazy to think that.
I like to say that if this is true, like if this is true, I remember saying this way back. I don't know, maybe one of the earlier episodes I was on, but episodes I call this episodes. But I said that Nintendo usually goes that right, like they usually go above and freaking beyond and freaking announce a whole new game when they could be so lazy. And if this is true, I'm glad that they did this because they don't really have to have a new, I feel like personally, a whole new Smash game right now. And since this is coming out, they have plenty of time to continue improving, or if they're working on it, continue improving on the Smash 5, like the actual next Smash.
Yeah, I see no logical or financial reason why Nintendo would want to make a whole new Smash Brothers. I don't see why the fans would want Nintendo to make a whole new Smash Brothers game when you could have so much more content with them building off of it. Because if they make a brand new one, they have to remake every piece of content, every character. It just takes so much time, so much effort. It's not really going to look that much better. Like, you could make it look better, but it's not going to be like, GameCube to Wii to Wii U and N64 to GameCube. You're not going to get this huge, massive jump like you used to. It would look better, yeah, but you could do that just by upgrading the game that already has. You can get it out easier, faster, more just financially makes sense. You can get more content. I think it's both better for Nintendo and for the fans if they just spruce up at the game they've already made and add a bunch of new content, maybe up the graphics, instead of building from the ground up a whole new game when it's really not going to do that much. So it's going to take time.
It's like you said, like, I'm glad that they went the whole remaster route because, like you said, like there's a big difference between the Wii U's power and the Switch's power. So this could be them showing off. Like this could look like I don't want to say a completely different game. Like you could still tell the base game is the same, but like it could look a whole lot better than it does on the Wii U, which I think the Wii U game itself is very, very gorgeous. So I do feel like this is the perfect opportunity to show what the Switch can do while also capitalizing on what has already been on the Wii and didn't sell optimally.
So there's so many different things I want to say to that, but I'm just to both of the things you guys are saying. But there's an interesting question that's going on here that some people, actually, Aaron, you were saying he thinks Sakurai would find a Smash port to be underwhelming. He's not the kind of guy who would allow Smash to simply be ported. So I don't necessarily agree with that, and let me explain why. Okay, it's not that I don't know what Sakurai would think actually, so I'm not going to tell you what I think Sakurai would think. But what I do think is that Sakurai has been slowly stepping away from Smash Brothers, and like Sabbath is saying, I think if you go back and check out the reports for Sakurai, he was dealing with a lot of medical issues during the last Smash Brothers, and every time he finishes development for a Smash Brothers game, it takes a huge toll on him. So I think he wants to move on to other things, and based off the medical reports, it's probably a good idea for him. But I think he's working on another game right now, and it's not Smash Brothers. Well, maybe a new Kid Icarus game. That would be amazing, right?
I hope it's Kid Icarus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
But I actually think Nintendo probably is using this Smash game that Sakurai created and just expanding upon it. And it's not going to be just a port. Like at least based off what we're hearing from the reports from Emily Rogers, based off speculation, based off a lot. There's a lot of information out there, guys. But
I think a lot of people, like, when they see, they're like, well, Sakurai wouldn't want that. I think they completely miss the point. Like, Smash Brothers is owned by Nintendo. Like, Nintendo could completely remove Sakurai from the equation entirely.
Well, I think they respect what he wants, but I also think the Sakurai. I don't think Sakurai is going to say no
they
port.
could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you pretty much ask any sort of like journalist or insider, the running speculation right now is that it's not going to be a pure port. The expectation is going to have a lot of extra new content to the point where it's going to feel almost more like a sequel. So, obviously there's nothing confirmed right now, so I can't tell you for sure. It could just be a port. There may be no Smash Bros. Coming at all. It could be either of those, but most people at this point who are speculating about it think that it's going to be a Smash Brothers game that's going to be... It's going to feel kind of like the Wii U game, but it's going to have so much extra content that it's going to be almost like an entirely new game. So, I mean, maybe it is a new game, you know? I think it's going to be running on the same engine. Well, you know, like, for example, every year is a new Call of Duty, right? And it's all based off the same engine, but every year it's a new game. So I'm not saying it's going to feel like a 1 year update, but what I am going to say is that if there is a Smash Bros. Coming out this year, I feel like it's definitely going to have a lot of content, and I don't think Sakurai is going to mind with that, especially because it's going to make it his job easier, so he won't have to focus on building up a ground-up new Smash Brothers game for at least a few more years. So
he doesn't really have to work on it.
He doesn't have to. No, he doesn't have to. But I do think he would maybe oversee it a little bit, though.
It's just like, yeah, just oversee. Like, he doesn't have to put his hand on the keyboard. Like, all he has to do is just oversee. Is like, hey, that doesn't look quite right. Like, it's not really super demanding work. Like Brandon was saying, like, it's not creating a whole new game. Like, and like you said, it is gonna fall. I feel like it's gonna follow the same vein as like the Call of Duty games do, where they all run on the same engine and everything's updated to the point where it's a new game. I feel like it's gonna.
I think there's. I don't. This is not going to be, even if it's a port, technically, it would not be simply a port. They've had 4 years. By the time, if this released this holiday, there'd be 4 years between Smash Brothers and the Wii U releasing and this game releasing. That's almost as much time. Actually, some of the Smash games took less than that, or around that amount of time to make a whole new game. So obviously, there'd be a lot new content. Graphics would probably be improved a lot. It would not be simply a port. It'd be so improved as to, even though it has a lot of the content from the old ones, it has so much new content that it's a new game, essentially. So it's not going to be simply a port. Even if some stuff is ported over, it's going to be it's going to feel like a new game.
Yeah, so basically what people are saying here is that, yeah, we all think this can be using the same Wii U engine, but with tons of new content. They'll probably spruce up the graphics a little bit and add a lot of new content, new stages, new characters, hopefully new modes. And if I don't think Sakurai had a problem with it. Some of you seem to think he would, but
Sakurai might die.
I don't think it matters.
Right. I mean, to Will, what you're saying, like, if Nintendo wants it, it's going to happen regardless of what Sakurai thinks. True, but I also think Nintendo respects Sakurai's opinion, but at the end of the day, if Sakurai's like, no, I'm tired, I don't think Nintendo's not going to put out Smash Brothers. Do you know how much money they lose for not creating a Smash Brothers game? So, yeah, I think
if they can get them, I would assume that they would get them, but I feel like a lot of people, like, think that if Sakurai cannot work on Smash, that Smash will never ever happen again. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't really get that. Yeah, that's really stupid and dumb. I just wanted to say that. Like, Sakurai, like, he is the founder of Smash. Like, Smash would not be the same without him, but at the end of the day, money talks. Smash makes money. Smash is Nintendo's property, and Smash will continue to go. That's all I'm saying. Like, he is a very respectable man, and he has made some of my favorite games ever, but I'm just saying, he could be easily removed from the
Nintendo's.
I'm gonna announce now that we're ending the discussion within 10 minutes. So we're gonna sort of close down this topic. Brandon, just put a pin on that. I'm sorry, but I just want to let people know I want to end these things really soon. But if you guys have any final questions or things you want to say, put them in now. It can be about Smash Bros. It can be about anything. So yeah, just putting it out there. We're gonna try to close this out in 10 minutes. But Brandon, as you were saying, sorry to cut you off, bro.
Oh, yeah. I was just saying, Nintendo's not going to be like, oh, we lost the director from this game that makes us millions and millions of dollars. Guess we just can't make it anymore. No, they're just going to be like, okay, find somebody new. Find somebody else that's talented. Make it. I mean, they have... Sakurai did a lot for inventing it and, like, making new ideas, but they have a lot of these ideas now. So, I'm not trying to say... He's not important, but he's not as important as back when
there is an important analogy here, actually. It just dawned on me. So, I think Nintendo and Sakurai have a good relationship. I think that whatever Smash Bros. Thing comes out, Sakurai will ultimately be okay with it. Maybe he'll take a step back. Maybe he'll oversee things a little bit, right? Or maybe, they are waiting. I don't think so, but maybe. I think they have a good relationship. So I'm not worried about whatever Smash happens in the future. But to just kind of consider a possibility here, let's look at what happened between Konami and their Metal Gear series. They lost their creator for Metal Gear, and they just came out with Metal Gear Solid Rising. And I haven't looked into the game at all, but I have heard that it's not good. I've heard a lot of negative critical reception. It's highly divisive. There's apparently, is that the game that Konami is charging for another save file?
Oh yeah, it is. If you want to get another character, you have to pay $10.
Isn't that Metal Gear Survival?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I call it Rising, right? That's an older game.
That's a different game.
Yeah, sorry. Survival.
Oh,
yeah, Metal Gear Solid Survival, and Kojima's not working on it. It's the first time they're making.
Makes a good point where he's saying like give young guys a try. I don't know about just handing it over to the younger people, but like Nintendo has been implementing some fresh blood into their games, and it has been paying off quite nicely. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to move on to new guys eventually, and having the old guys sort of raise them up is important. So,
I wish they were immortal. Like, I wish the old guys were immortal.
But they're not. They're not. You have to build up the younger teams because you will eventually, taper off. I mean, look at it. Like, Aonuma wasn't the initial director for Zelda, but he became the director for Zelda, and we know him as a Zelda director, but he wasn't always the Zelda director, and someday there's going to be a new Zelda director, and Aonuma may already be tutoring that guy up as we speak. So, this is just kind of the way things go. Like, people get older. People die. The legacy still needs to live on, right? So you teach those younger than you so they can carry that torch, So eventually Sakurai is going to have to step down from Smash Brothers. It can't just be him. Well, maybe it could, actually. There could be some creators out... I don't know about Smash Brothers, but there are some games out there where the creator may die with the brand. That is possible. I don't think Smash Brothers is one of them because it's too important for Nintendo, right? But I technically Metal Gear is not going to die with, Kojima, but he doesn't have the rights.
Kojima is just...
He doesn't have the rights to Metal Gear, so...
Konami is just not good at. They're out of their.
They need him.
They aren't Nintendo. So without Sakurai, I feel like Nintendo would. Like I think it's great to, like Sakurai and Nintendo. We're all a big happy family and stuff like that. Like that's great, but I don't think that the Smash Brothers series would be lost without Sakurai.
And I mean, Metal Gear Survive is crap because it's modern Kojima. Let's be honest.
Is crap.
Konami.
Konami's crap.
Not Kojima. Kojima is not crap. Kojima is great.
Kojima
I meant Konami.
Is a wizard. But Konami has become crap.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Kojima is the boss of bosses.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Right, and I want you guys to notice that I didn't remember the name for Metal Gear Survive. That's how much I don't care about it. So, But that's just I brought that up because that series lost its director. But of course, Konami doesn't know how to handle anything. They had a falling out, Konami and Kojima. It wasn't because like he stepped down and they didn't have any sort of process to carry the franchise. That franchise may die now, or they may have to sell the rights or something. They have to do something about that because that's not
the rights.
They're gonna have to do something because where it stands now is not good.
I don't think it'll die either, because it's just I think it's just big enough to where it's relevant to gamers. It's always going to be relevant to gamers. Yeah. But they're going to need someone to take better care of it. Like Sonic, like at this point, a lot of people will say Sonic should have died. All of his games have been crap lately, but he's just that big. He's just that iconic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Sega is like not Konami.
Yeah.
Konami is just so bad they might just be like, we don't need that IP anymore. Let's just throw it away.
I
still feel like Sega doesn't know how to take care of Sonic to an extent. Like. I don't want to get into it. Go ahead, Andres.
No, I'm just kind of going into the questions now. Is there anything else you guys want to say for Smash? I don't know for sure what Sakurai is doing right now, but I do think that Nintendo understands that they need to maintain the legacy of their games and their franchises, which includes Smash Brothers. And someday Sakurai will step down from that series. Maybe he's not stepping down yet. Maybe he's sort of overseeing the next Smash Brothers project, or maybe he just has part of an influence on it. But I just want you guys to understand that they do have to move forward. Are they moving forward right now? I don't know. But eventually that will happen. I think that's just, it's inevitable. And I think Nintendo's going to handle it way better than Konami, you know, obviously. So that's all I want to say to that. I want to get to the questions, but is there anything else you guys want to say to that, or just Smash Brothers coming this year in general?
Yeah, I guess just last quick thing. As you were saying, like, when a series director starts to get older, and you know he needs to hand it down off to somebody else, they start training him. Even like Miyamoto recently said that he's already training people to, you know, handle different games that he's been working on.
Yeah. I mean, so, Miyamoto was trained at one point too. When he came into Nintendo, he didn't even know how to program. They taught him how to program on the fly. Like, yeah, you know. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle, man.
I saw this Breath of the Wild interview, and like Brendan said, it really hits home at. It's strangely morbid, but I guess that's not really. I guess that's not really how he would view it, but he was like, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to be around in like a couple of decades, so you know, I just thought it was morbid, but it was true. Like, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not going to live forever. Unfortunately, we need Miyamoto in this world, but yeah.
Some would disagree, but screw them.
All right, so. I want to answer this question. It's completely different, but you know we'll probably come back depending as I go through the questions right now to close out the discussion. We'll probably come back to Smash. It depends on your questions, guys. So you know, ask them, ask away. But some Gohan asked me, "What's my opinion on the new Goku transformation?" So we actually haven't seen the episode where he uses the new transformation yet, right? But it's obviously, we know what's confirmed is it's mastered Ultra Instinct. Now, what is that exactly?
Have you seen the Super Dragon Ball Heroes thing where he's using it?
We haven't seen it in the anime, is what I mean. We won't see it exactly how it's animated. I know roughly how it looks, yeah. But I want to see how Dragon Ball Super depicts the full-on transformation.
It's the same art style, like as Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
All I'm saying is we haven't seen it in action. We haven't seen it in motion, and once we see the episode, we're gonna have a better idea.
I'm trying to tell you that it's been animated. Like like the actual episode of it hasn't showed up, but like I've
seen it on Xenoverse, and I've seen the art of it. I haven't seen Dragon Ball Heroes though.
Well, there's this thing called Super Dragon Ball Heroes in Japan where they have these animations for these. It's just basically a bunch of what if scenarios.
Right.
But
no, I know about the series. I just haven't seen. I haven't seen Mastered Ultra Instinct animated, like in cartoon style or anime, however you want to describe it.
They have that. It's out there.
Okay.
For Super Dragon,
but
yeah.
So we know how it looks. I'm just saying I want to see how Dragon Ball Super depicts it because it will be slightly different, at least slightly. Because that's the source material. That's where it's coming from. I want to see obviously it's gonna all function and flow, but I think it's cool. I didn't think we need another transformation because there's been so many transformations already. But I guess if you look at Ultra Instinct Omen, you know that when Goku has the black hair, if you want to look at that kind of like as you know when Goku was like not Super Saiyan but almost a Super Saiyan in the Lord Slug movie. Okay, it kind of makes sense. I almost want to. It's in my own headcanon. I don't know if it's true. It doesn't seem like it is. But my own headcanon of it is that Goku has Ultra Instinct, but when he masters Ultra Instinct and can use it offensively, he also knows how to tap into Super Saiyan power while using Ultra Instinct, and that's why you see the gray hair. But that's my own headcanon of it. From what we've seen from the reports and previews, it just seems like this gray hair, silver hair form is just him having a better understanding of Ultra Instinct. But we'll see how that is. I think it's cool as hell. So,
it's being depicted as like a technique more so than a transformation.
It's both.
But yeah,
it's both.
That's weird and stupid. But yeah, all right.
What's weird and stupid?
That doesn't make sense. Well, all right.
It is a transformation, though.
It's like the way everyone describes it is a technique.
Well, it's both because it's a technique in the way he avoids stuff, but he's also faster and stronger as well in a way because his movements are. It's all like Ultra Instinct, you know. So whatever, and he looks different, but I think it's cool as hell, man. I think it's interesting because Goku almost looks wiser because he has like the silvery gray hair. So I kind of want this to be like his final power up ever, though, and I want if when Dragon Ball comes back eventually, if they ever do, I want it to be like Goku stepping back into more of that mentor role and maybe have someone else become the main character, maybe Oob, maybe Gohan. That would be cool to me personally, but we'll see. You know, they always have made Goku the main character, so we'll see how that works out.
I think it's cool. Like the actual form itself or the technique or whatever, it's cool. I think it looks great.
Yeah, so let's get back to the other questions, though. Because I know Brandon's been quiet, so I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. What is this Ultra Instinct nonsense?
Oh, yeah, there is an extended version of the preview. So, yeah,
I saw that.
Actually, yeah.
One day,
but they still didn't show. They still didn't show off. They still like hit it. Like they show his hair when it's glowing, but I think it just hasn't settled into the form yet. But I know how it looks. I've seen images in Xenoverse 2 and stuff. So
you really haven't seen the animation? All right.
Not from I haven't seen that yet. No.
Will's over here like, how are you even a true Dragon Ball fan?
The blasphemy. I was just kidding.
The Wii U version is not a port. I'm like going. I'm looking through the chat right now.
The Wii U version of what?
I don't know.
The Wii U version of no. The Wii U version of Smash is not a port. It was built from the ground up for the Wii U version.
Wait. No Filter Nintendo podcast said Onuma wasn't even the director for Breath of the Wild. It was younger. I know he was working with someone else, but he was
the main director. Yeah.
I want to look up his exact title though. Why is
Google... Oh, okay. Son Gohan cleared it up. They apparently announced it as a transformation.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. That it's being treated as both. So let me. I want to look. Why is it weird though?
I just think it's weird.
Okay.
like you say it's being treated as both. That's kind of weird. I don't know.
Well.
Good. He is only human, yet he can fight more powerful alien fighters and androids to a standstill.
Breath of the Wild directors.
Oh, Krillin. Yeah, Krillin is definitely the most powerful human.
Yeah, so the Breath of the Wild director is Hidemaru Fujibayashi. You guys have seen him in interviews. If you watch the Zelda interviews, he's in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, him and AJ Onuma worked side by side with, directing the game.
He was at the
but that's already an example of Onuma sort of, having someone else work side by side with him, so there's someone else who could take more of a creative lead later on.
Oh, Onuma's a genius. Just straight up.
Yeah, I love that man.
Genius.
I know it was
Jeremy Bin says Star Fox Switch with online multiplayer.
Yeah,
wow.
we are
and Andre's same wavelength here.
Oh. Well, the thing is, I was actually way higher on the chat. He just said it more than once. It's kind of interesting how I was in a different part of the chat and that came up. I would love. I don't know if I would love. I would love for there to be a new Star Fox Switch. Would not love it if they were to remaster or port Star Fox Zero, which is already a reimagining for a game that was reimagined. So hell no.
Yeah, that game did not sell well. They would never.
I do want a new Star Fox though. I want a new Star Fox. I want it to have an extensive online multiplayer mode, something kind of like Battlefront, but obviously Star Foxy, obviously. With R-Wings flying around. So maybe like a combination of online Rogue Squadron with Battlefront and Star Fox together.
Yes.
This beautiful, beautiful relationship. I would love that. Is it going to happen anytime soon? I don't know.
Good Star Fox game, please. Star Fox 64 was so good. But no, not anymore. Stop it.
What I don't like about Star Fox Zero, maybe it's like something that affects all the Star Fox. Not all of them. Definitely not all of them, but sometimes it's just a remixed or reimagined story of the first Star Fox.
Yeah. My problem with it was that it felt very rushed. Like it wasn't a good game. Yeah, and it didn't have a new story. That didn't help. But I didn't mind that too much. It was a big problem, but it wasn't like a game breaking for me. Like it was just something I didn't like. But I just felt like the game itself wasn't that good. and you could tell even like the graphics weren't that great, the level design wasn't that good. It just didn't feel like an overall good game.
Yeah, I agree, Gohan. Oob will probably easily surpass Krillin, but
I feel like we're talking about different things here.
I also agree with you, Brandon, and
I want to get to the Krillin conversation. I saw a VC Online said some cool stuff about Krillin. I kind of agree. I'll get to that in a moment. But Brandon, what were you saying? I don't think it was about Krillin.
No, it was about Star Fox Zero. I said that the story wasn't as big a problem for me, like it being Star Fox 64. It was a big problem, but it wasn't as big as some other people. Mostly, I just thought that the level design seemed bad and the graphics were really bad. Overall, it felt like a very rushed game. Like you could tell from
it had no budget. It had no budget. They never planned for it to be a big game. I'm pretty sure Nintendo was like, "Hey Miyamoto, this is how much money we have. This is the amount of people you have. This is the amount of time you have to make it in." Okay, and I also don't think he made good decisions.
Apparently, he had to beg to make that game. Like he had to beg to let them make another Star Fox game.
Right, but what they did was so bad. I mean, I like Star Fox Zero, but it was
a decent game.
Frustrating.
I had fun with it for a little bit.
That was developed by Platinum, right?
Yeah.
Star Fox.
Yeah.
Which is such a waste.
Yeah. But it's not Platinum Games' fault that it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Platinum is good. They would have made an amazing game if they had done
it was Miyamoto's idea to use the gamepad. Like, here's the thing. Miyamoto, for whatever reason, was hardcore trying to validate the Wii. He's like, he literally said, we are going to produce games this year that prove that the gamepad is worth it. And we got Splatoon, we got Mario Maker, we got Star Fox Zero.
Those three games actually did a little bit of something.
Right, but Star Fox was not... Like, the gamepad to TV sort of thing didn't really work out too well. It's a neat idea, I guess. He's trying to create like sort of that like arcade experience where you have these different things you can do at home. But I don't think a lot of people liked it. It was confusing. I'll say. I mean, I'm the kind of person that likes challenging things. So when I played through, it was just like, oh, I have to be better. Oh, I have to be better. Right? That's my mindset like all the time. But I know a lot of people were just like, this is annoying and frustrating and just screw it. You know. I think that they could have. No, it just wasn't a good idea.
I think I got used to the controls after like halfway or 3/4 of the way through my first playthrough. The problem was
the graphics
the game
were
wasn't
bad.
good enough.
The game was short. There was no multiplayer.
There was no reason for me to ever use that skill again because the game wasn't fun to replay.
And the story was nothing new. So
that would be
no online multiplayer. How the hell did that happen?
But there was some really cool worlds. There were some cool boss fights. I liked seeing them the characters interact with each other. It's not like the game was all bad. It just wasn't. There was so much more they could have done, and they didn't do it. You know, because they had no budget. Because the Wii U, they didn't want to invest a lot of money into the Wii U because it was already a failure. They weren't trying to bring back the Wii U with Star Fox. They were just putting out quick, cheap games that will satisfy Wii U owners while we waited for the Switch. And that's the truth of it. It didn't have a big budget.
I feel like a lot of people get that era or that little segment of Nintendo. Like, people think that was them being super serious and just trying to put out their best content. Like, no, they knew
they were padding things out. They were padding things out.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
That was ultra super cheap rush mode.
That's why Twilight Princess HD happened, by the way. It wasn't because they thought,
Mario RPG. Like, that would be cool instead of a Mario and Luigi, a Peach and Daisy. That would be cool for a spinoff.
Yeah, but Wario and Waluigi would be cooler, so...
That would be cool,
That.
So, I want to get to the Krillin thing that VC Online was talking about. I also agree that Krillin is like he's very skilled, and the problem is that biologically he's just so limited compared to Goku. Like, if you watch Dragon Ball, the first series, when they were both kids, like, if you consider how close Krillin is to Goku in that series, you're like, wow. Like, if you think about how much more potential Goku has than Krillin, the fact that Krillin is so close to him as kids is pretty amazing. Like, this guy is a monster. You know, like, it took Master Roshi over 50 years to develop the Kamehameha Wave. Yeah, Goku got in his first try, but Krillin was able to accomplish it within a year. And that, like, that is insane. Like, Krillin was able to do the Kamehameha Wave in, like, obviously way faster than Master Roshi, who was the previous most powerful human in the world. So, yeah, Krillin deserves way more credit. It's just unfortunate that the humans, like, just normal humans in Dragon Ball they're basically trash. Like, you need to be some sort of alien or mutation in order to compete in Dragon Ball.
That's why I like the Tournament of Power, because it
made them relevant again.
Complain about that. Yeah, it actually gave them some time to shine. And like, I know a lot of people complain about that, like, oh, there are some great characters and you guys are just ignoring them. And I feel like a lot of people, like a lot of them, don't really get that. Hey, they're not saying, so they kind of are irrelevant.
And it's funny that because they didn't include Yamcha in the Tournament of Power, and I think the hate for Yamcha is so widespread that no one cared. They was like, oh yeah, screw Yamcha. We don't need him in the Tournament of Power. They made a gag out of it. They made a gag out of it. He's a gag character, and they're just like, oh yeah, we forgot about. They still haven't even realized Yamcha. Like, he came by, he's like, oh, what's up, guys? Oh, you're looking for fighters? Oh, interesting. I'll just wait by my house.
He didn't even approach him about it. He was like, well, surely Goku will surely he'll approach me about it. You know, they need me and stuff. And he was like, oh, he's already gone.
He's still waiting. He's like, they'll invite me soon, right? They come back. Oh yeah, we saved the world. Oh, without me? Oh, you wanted to come?
Our universe.
You know, yeah, we had brought Frieza instead because he's way stronger than you, and he was dead, so it doesn't matter. So yeah. But Yamcha is really good in Dragon Ball FighterZ, though. I would say he's better than Krillin. But Krillin's also really interesting, the way they use him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I'm just checking the chat now. Is there anything else you guys want us to address before we, call it a night?
Yeah, he no filter. He said not all of Platinum is great, in which I definitely agree, because they made Star Fox and they made that one Metal Gear game that was weird.
Right, but my argument for Star Fox is that it was destined to be only what it was, because it was never going to have a high budget. It was never going to have a huge effort put into it because of what the Wii U was.
Like, that's the thing. They're a victim of their nature. It's like Platinum Games is commissioned to make games. They don't really have a choice in whether the game will be good or bad or the direction of the game, and they catch the flack for they catch that flack for Star Fox Zero, or let's use a different example since that Metal Gear Rising, like they catch the flack for that, but it was really Konami's direction. All they did was develop it. So they're just a victim.
Jeremy Bins, I have seen Gurren Lagann already. I saw it a few years ago. I think it's a really good anime. I would put it in my top 10 for sure. So anyone who has not seen Gurren Lagann, watch it. It will make you cry and also be like, oh, this is so cool at the same time. So check it out.
There's a lot of complex emotions there.
It's really good. You should watch it.
Son Gohan asked if we would ever do a convention where we can all meet up.
Maybe when I make money.
Right. So when I have the time and the money for that.
Well, like, hopefully, the plan is that YouTube will pan out eventually, right? Or to the point where I'm invited to conventions and panels and stuff, and I'll totally go to them, bro. Yeah, I will let you guys know for sure. But I'm not. Channel's not there yet. I can't even get sponsors because I have less than 1,000 subs. But hopefully as time goes on, our channels grow. And that becomes an option for sure. Like, I want to be able to go to E3 and maybe, Comic-Con and different anime conventions and other video game conventions. Like, I'd love to do that. But, I'm not at that level yet. Hopefully, in a couple years. Hopefully.
Instead of meeting up, let's just do a huge Skype call.
No.
that would be a really big Skype call.
No.
100 Skype users. That'd be dope.
Would you imagine how much we talk over each other on occasion?
Won't work.
How insane it would be.
It will not work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, so I guess we'll call it a night. I'll give anyone 30 more seconds to ask a question. Actually, one half alive, I just want to read your comment because this is the Smash characters you want to see. you want to see being in the Switch: Inkling, Springman, Rex, Arla, Naja, Celica, Decidueye, King K. Rool, Dixie Kong, Shovel Knight, Bomberman, Rayman, Travis Touchdown, and bring back Wolf. Totally agree. Also bring back Ice Climbers. I for whatever reason, you know, I agree with this, and this was my idea at first too, but I didn't realize how many other people would also want to see Decidueye be the next Pokemon in the next Smash Brothers. It's not just me.
Best Pokemon from Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Best Pokemon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I just didn't. I never, because like when I made my Smash Brothers video and I said, oh, the characters I would like to see, like for Pokemon, I was like, oh, they should bring Decidueye. I saw everyone else's like Smash Bros list, and everyone was like, oh yeah, Decidueye. I didn't realize how popular Decidueye was. Like I knew he was popular, but I didn't think so many people would agree with me. You know, like, but yeah, I think he's perfect. I think he's awesome in Pokken, and he's a cool Pokemon.
I like him in Pokken.
Like he's a grass ghost type. He's like the Pokemon that's like a starter that's a ghost type, which is weird because you kind of like assume that all ghost Pokemon were like a dead spirit, right? So the idea that one of the first Pokemon you get becomes a ghost, you know, which is kind of akin to a dead spirit. It's sort of like a blurred line situation when you look at what Pokemon is, but pretty cool. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. My thoughts on a new Spider game from the Nintendo podcast, or our thoughts.
New. It's been shown for 3 years.
I'm not excited about it personally, but we'll see. Hey man, like if when it comes out, hopefully it's really good. I'll probably get it for PlayStation really if it's really good.
I'm not.
In my opinion, I think it has the potential.
I'm not
be really good.
Excited about it. I'm anticipating it, but I'm not because you know I had a PS2 and Spider-Man, for the most part, reigned supreme on that system, and I played pretty much every single Spider-Man game on that system. Well, just in general. They were great
on the PS2.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm
has
anticipating.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just anticipating. I think it has potential pretty good, but I don't know if it will be.
We'll see. Yeah. Hopefully we get to review it.
Insomniac Games. Yeah.
Yes, Insomniac Games need to stop working on they need to finish Spider-Man and move on to Ratchet and Clank, because that series needs to come back.
So, thanks, Sun Go On, for coming by, man. Always love seeing you around. But Kimishima's asking me, will I stream the Balloon World where I can try to find the moons for the viewers? I'm assuming instead of moons you mean the balloons. I love playing Mario Odyssey. I would love to stream it. I may have mentioned it earlier. I did mention it earlier. I would love to stream Mario Odyssey. I would love to stream doing the balloons. Heck, I would love streaming me trying to find your balloons, guys. But here's the problem. Whenever I stream a new game, actually, whenever I stream a game, period, I get, like, hardly any viewers. So, I'm not saying... I mean, I should play a game because I want to. Yes, and I do.
Yeah.
But if you guys want me to actually stream Balloon World, love to do that. If you guys want me to sort of try and get your balloons, love to do that. So, maybe I'll do that Thursday or Friday. Let me know. Spread the word. I would love to do that. It would be really fun. So, just to answer your question, Kimishima. And I saw this really funny comment from Owen. He says he wants more clones in Smash Brothers. Like, is that real?
No more clones.
That Venom movie, that does not look very good to me. I'm sorry, Sungo.
It doesn't look like much of anything.
Yeah, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
I'm one of the few people who does not want a port for Super Mario 3D World.
No. One of the few people who doesn't want that? Who does want that? Who's asking for this?
I hear people all the time, man.
Except Savage.
All the time.
I would like a Super Mario 3D World with a Captain Toad bundle. I would like something.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I don't care for it. I did have both games on Wii U, but there could be a lot of people out there who want it. So, you know, who am I to say that you guys shouldn't have it?
I mean, I never had a Wii U.
So,
and I would
you didn't have a Wii U, so...
Yeah. I would like that multiplayer experience. Like, I have, like, sometimes 8 of my friends over. Yeah.
I think it's an 8.5, 8 to 8.5 out of 10 game. It's good.
So, 3D World's a good game.
Yeah, like,
I 100% it.
It's got nothing on Audience. Not Audience, Odyssey. Yeah, I know it's got nothing on that game. But, yeah.
Exactly. Like, it's a good game in its own right, but it doesn't replace 3D Mario. Like, real 3D Mario.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
When 3D World came out, I was upset because it's this Mario game that doesn't really feel like a 3D Mario game. It has kittens. And, yeah, it's a great game. I 100% of the game. Like, I love it, but I don't love it. I'm not making any sense. What I mean is, when it came out, I was expecting something else, and I didn't get it. I didn't get any... Cool. I never got anything like Breath of the Wild or Xenoblade 2 or, you know, Mario Odyssey for the Wii U. Well, we got Xenoblade X. But even then, Xenoblade X, I think most people agree, is like the weaker of the 3 Xenoblade games that have come out. Right? It's still a great game. But Xenoblade X, and to me, I can make the argument, is the best game on Wii U.
It's true.
Excluding Zelda.
Breath of the Wild, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, we don't count that because it came out on Switch, and most people got it on Switch. So, hey, for the record, there's still like over 1.5 million people who got it on Wii U. So I'm not saying there's no Wii U owners. I'm just saying most people, the majority of people, still got it on Switch. So I still see Breath of the Wild as a Switch game and not a Wii U game. But excluding Breath of the Wild, the only like big single-player experience was Xenoblade X, and I was really disappointed because 3D World is more of a multiplayer-focused Mario game. And it was good. Like I said, I 100%ed it. I loved it, but it just wasn't what I needed. It was just, you know, so.
Yeah, I feel that way when I played 3D Land, but now I know the value that 3D World holds above Odyssey to an extent. So yeah, I mean, cause like you can't really replace that multiplayer. Yeah, it like Cappy with 2 players. That's terrible. So yeah.
Yeah. I think, if you're really into multiplayer games, you may enjoy 3D World better than Mario Odyssey.
Just to keep the local co-op, because I don't think I'd play it like by myself. Like I would just grind on Odyssey, but I would like invite my friends over to play the game.
Oh yeah, I never played that game by myself. I always played it with other people. Andres, the lonely person, he probably played by himself.
Play what by myself? I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat. What did you guys say?
Mario 3D World. I said I only really played it with other people.
So when I first experienced 3D World, it was at a friend's house, and it was frustrating playing with them. And eventually I got the game for myself when they lowered it to $20 on the eShop. I bought it then, it was $20, and I 100%ed it by myself.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't think I would have ever liked that game if it wasn't multiplayer.
Jeremy's asking what are the Switch game game of the year 2017 picks. My game of the year is Breath of the Wild. I think it literally changed how I perceive open world games. Every open world game I have played and will play since Breath of the Wild, if it doesn't come up to that standard, I will feel like it's lacking to some degree. So, you know, that's my game of the year. Mario Odyssey is really good. Xenoblade 2 is really good. You know, there's a lot of great games that came out last year, and I think Mario Odyssey is a classic, but Breath of the Wild is my number one.
I would choose. I think if any game I would choose Odyssey for number one, but I can't pick. I got like 10 games of the year.
There's so many. It was such a great year. Like I don't even. I hate ranking. I do it sometimes because people ask a lot. But I don't even like ranking games because some games are just special in their own ways for different times, you know? Like
Sonic Mania. Like, I refused to put any game above that. But I don't think it's weird. Like, I was like, I like Persona and I like Sonic, but I don't... Like, I like them both in starkly different ways.
Yeah.
And they aren't really... They aren't really worth, like you said earlier, something in the same vein. Like, some games just aren't really worth comparing. Like, some games are just that good.
Yeah. To your point, Andres, about changing how you played or how you perceived open world games, I am actually borrowing an Xbox or a PlayStation 4 from my father for a bit. I'm going to get to play Horizon Zero Dawn. Yep. And so I'm going to be very curious to see how it is. And yes, I am not going to buy.
I haven't beaten Horizon Zero Dawn yet. It's a good game. It's very pretty. It's fighting the robots is really cool, but
I hear the story's really good, which I love stories in games. Good stories will hook me, even sometimes even more than gameplay.
Like, I'm not even starting. Horizon Zero Dawn is still a great game. I haven't beaten it yet, but it's still a good game. But the thing about it, though, is that as you're going to play it, you're going to be like, oh, I can't climb here. Oh, I have to go through this set path here. It's still open world, but, there's, when you're climbing, it's all set. Like, you can't, you're going to see mountains in the background all the time. And you're like, oh, I want to go to those mountains. You never can.
I felt that way when I played Xenoblade 2 in some sections as well, especially since the gigantic Titan environments, and I'm like, I can't go there. Why?
Well, actually, no. That's something
like
that Xenoblade X has over Xenoblade 2. The world, I
Yeah.
think, was better in Xenoblade X. To your point, no filter, because you said you disagree. You think Xenoblade X is the best. Is the best gameplay and exploration. I think I really like Xenoblade X, but I feel like Xenoblade 2 was a better package, mainly because of the story. But I would like them to sort of
fighting.
I would like them to sort of combine the mechanics of Xenoblade X in terms of like the open worldness, but maybe I think Xenoblade 2 had the better fighting engine. I agree, Brandon. And the story. Combine the story and fighting engine for Xenoblade 2 with the open world of Xenoblade X, and I think you have a real winner there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like with the Horizon Zero Dawn thing, like I feel like maybe I have like a bias towards it, but like I feel like it's very, like you said, Andres, it's like very standard compared to like Breath of. It just feels like a standard Ubisoft open world. Like I know it was developed by Guerrilla Games and all that, but it just feels very standard,
Very
like,
Assassin's Creedy.
Yeah, like that. Like,
Which is also a good game. Every game is good, you know.
So many fanboys and stuff attacked Breath of the Wild, so I might just have a subconscious bias about it and like just not want to like the game because those fanboys attacked Breath of the Wild.
It's great. Horizon Zero Dawn is dope. It's dope.
Yeah.
I don't like.
Right.
I have a little bit of a problem with the beginning, but that's just because I personally sometimes I'm impatient and I just like I want to play the game, and there's like a lot of like cinematical stuff, so. That's a personal thing, though. Like that's also a problem I have with Metal Gear Solid 5. Like even though people love the heck out of the game, for some people it's like their best game ever. The beginning takes like 20 minutes before you're actually playing. You know, like you're sitting on a bed looking around for so long before you actually really do anything. It's cool, but like it's slow paced. And
don't play Gears of War 4. The entire game is essentially that.
Yeah, I will say that
that's a preference thing, by the way. It's not necessarily bad or good. Like some people are like, "Oh, I really want to have more of an interactive story as opposed to just jumping straight in," you know. But Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild did a really good job of just allowing you to jump straight into the gameplay. Like the opening cinematics for both those games are pretty quick by comparison. So I think I kind of prefer that. But at the same time, when I think about the memories I had of playing Ocarina of Time. Like, I feel like even obviously the story for Ocarina of Time isn't necessarily the most complicated thing ever, but I do have memories of the way they told that. It just seems so mystical, so cool. I would love for Nintendo for the next Zelda game to really, you know, find a way to make the story told in the next open world Zelda game to be even stronger than what it was in Breath of the Wild. It wasn't bad, but I'm not going to say it was the best story in a Zelda game ever. It wasn't. You know, Skyward Sword was better. I would say Ocarina of Time was better. Majora's Mask was probably better. Wind Waker was probably better. You know, I love the characters. I love the designs of the characters. I like the ideas of them. I just think they didn't put them all together well enough.
Cass is my favorite like character, like especially as far as design goes. Like he's freaking Rito. He's got this giant accordion. I think he's really cool. Like that's my favorite character.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild story ends pretty much when you start the game. Like all the cool stuff happened when you were asleep, or before you fall asleep. What I mean? Like before you start playing the game, all the cool story beats have ended.
Yeah,
it's like going and reading the back of the book, and then going to the beginning. It's no fun.
No filter.
You know everything.
Loves the slow-paced intros. I mean, yeah, like
I like
Metal Gear Solid
to a point.
Yeah, because he compares it to what I'm thinking he's referencing Ocarina of Time, where Link wakes up and stuff, and then he has to discover that he's healing.
I wonder how long that intro actually is, though.
That can be considered a slow introduction to the game. I guess.
It's a good 20 minutes or so, I'd say.
We're talking about Ocarina of Time?
Yeah.
Because you have to go through the
But you still get to run around and stuff. Like, okay, here's an example. Skyward Sword, I hate the beginning. Hate it. I streamed it the other day for Valentine's Day, for #ForeverAlone, and, like, I didn't like it. I love Skyward Sword. I think it has one of the best stories in Zelda games ever. But the way it's just so. It's not even the story part that's bad. It's the amount of like tutorials and text you have to go through. Like they could have done a better job of really making that more of a fluid
Twilight
experience.
Princess had the same problems. Though I think I like the intro sequence. Like I don't want them.
I like the story part of it.
Yeah.
I just think they, in terms of like telling you, oh, this is how you lock on, this is how you talk, this is how you pick up weapons. Like all that stuff needed to be a lot smoother, and they did a better job of that in Breath of the Wild, obviously. But they also had less of a story focus as well. So, you know,
I'm one of those people who liked rounding up the goats in Twilight Princess. Like I don't know, I just liked it. I liked being like a little bit of a farming life before I got into everything. Like it had a good backstory and stuff for me. It's just when they start telling you like 12 million times how to walk forward, it's like walk forward with the choice.
Like this.
Like, oh really? You don't.
You collected a stick. Collected a stick.
Oh
this is your 80.
You got a green ruby. It's worth 1 rupee. You got a blue rupee. This one's worth 5 rupees. It's like shut up.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah. So I think I saw Q should come back. It's like, oh, you guys are still alive. I was like, yeah, we're still alive.
Somehow
the discussion kept on going. It just kept on going.
Actually, I think like when it comes to Ocarina of Time, that might be like the very slow intro. Maybe not slow definitively, but like it is a very well crafted build up. Like I think that's why the Hero of Time is like one of my favorite links.
It was slow, but it was all story. None of it was like, hey, like this is how you play the game. By the way,
I think Ocarina of Time has really good pacing. You know, and the music is perfect.
Oh gosh, the music and atmosphere in that game has never been replicated.
Right, I want to see
the Naruto thing, man.
I don't want to see another Ocarina of Time. I want to see another game that has atmosphere. Like I would say that Breath of the Wild, if anything, the atmosphere wasn't as strong as say Ocarina of Time.
The atmosphere was.
Right?
There was no sense of drive. There was no sense that I wanted to get anything done.
But it was different. They wanted you to kind of explore the world, and in that aspect, it's always good. It's always fun to just jump into Breath of the Wild all the time and play it. There's no, it never feels tiring to play Breath of the Wild, never.
Yeah, so. even docked, and I usually don't like sitting down. And it's funny because I only came to this revelation when the Switch came out, but I don't really like sitting down for super long periods of time and playing a game like Persona 5, where it's just a bunch of talking and you have to keep skipping the talk. It's weird. Like I'm super glad it's not really tiring.
Yeah.
So, I agree.
Not to take away from what you're saying, Will, but
it's fine.
Totally went longer than I anticipated, which happens like every time. So. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you guys have anything else you want us to cover, put it in the comments below. And make sure to like this video, guys. If you guys still like the video, it really helps out. I would really appreciate it. Check out Brandon and Will's channel if you haven't already, seriously. And I'll see you guys next week or whenever I put out a video, you know, or on Discord or on Twitter. Check that all out. I am plugging, but I also mean it. If you guys want to talk to me, you can talk to me through those platforms. So, yeah. All right, everyone. Have a good night or day whenever you watch this. I always say good night, but I forget that people live in different time zones. So whatever.
Time zones? What is that?
Right,
it's like opinions. They don't exist other than mine.
And some people watch this after it's streamed too. So like maybe they're watching it in the morning. You know, like, even if it is like whatever. Bye. See you guys.